There's the man of the moment, isn't he? Kai Havertz. 1 goal in his first 18 games for Arsenal, and it was a case of hate me now. See what I did there?
Yeah, I like that.
You like that? But he's been rattling in goals, Darren Bent style, since then. His current run, 4 goals in 4 Premier League games. Never forget, Kai Havertz scored the winning goal in the Champions League final 3 years ago. That recently. That was his first ever Champions League goal in the final to win it against Man City. Right now he's got form. He's got over the line in this before. Kai Havertz is important to this Arsenal team right now.
Absolutely. I mean, he's already matched his goals for his best ever Premier League season, which is 8 goals. And he showed composure in that Champions League final with that finish. But as you said there, he is the man of the moment. A lot of question marks were raised because of his form at Chelsea and the money that Arsenal paid. But at the minute, he's been sensational. He's in and around the box, which is what I like about him, which is why I would have him over Gabriel Jesus. You see the time Saka picks the ball up, he's looking to cross it. Kai Havertz is always in there. The other side with Martinelli or Trossard, the look up, he's in and around it. I like Gabriel Jesus, spends too much time for me outside the box. But Kai Havertz, this is what Mikel Arteta signed him for. He knew that this player was there. It was just about getting him out of it. You give him a run of games, you give him a bit of consistency, he'll start to repay you, and he's done that, and he's playing absolutely fantastically well for Arsenal.
Are you being a bit harsh on Gabriel Jesus because he's played 5 Champions League games, 4 goals, 2 assists. The performance he put in away to Sevilla was, I thought, one of the best individual performances I've seen anywhere this season. It was sensational stuff from him. So you've been a little bit unfair on him there?
Not unfair. Listen, he's a good player. He's a very good player, but he's a centre forward. And I know he came out at the start of the season and spoke about scoring goals wasn't his strong part of his game. But if you're a centre forward, you've got to give your teammates a target now. He's wonderful at taking the ball in tight areas. He can get out of tight spaces. He can make things happen. But ultimately, Arsenal at some points need a vocal point. They need someone who's going to be in and around it to get goals. They've questioned Arsenal. Do they need a centre forward? He is supposed to be that centre forward. But right now, unfortunately, it's happened to myself before. A guy gets into the team, starts scoring goals. There's nothing you can do about it. He's going to have to wait for his opportunity again. And when he gets that opportunity, he's going to have to take it.
Kai Havertz, by the way, after the weekend where a lot of people said, and I think we all agree, probably deserved a second yellow for diving, should have been sent off.
Did he?
Do you not agree with that?
I agree. I do agree.
Fair enough. You do? It should have been a yellow. Right,
yeah.
Okay. He then scores the winning goal. So is any of that going to bother him at all? Is he, at any point in his mind, is he thinking, oh my goodness, I've caused a stir here, I've done something wrong? Is he going to be bothered by any of that?
I've been there, and as a player, he wouldn't even have given that a second thought by the time 9 p.m. that same night. He would have heard all the noise and stuff, and it wouldn't have even fazed him. And I think that's the sign of him as a person, because he's had a lot to deal with this season. People questioning his ability, questioning the price tag, saying that he's not worth the money. That what happened at the weekend with the diving situation, that won't even bother him one bit. He'll be there focused today, try and get himself another goal, and he knows how important this is to Arsenal Football Club, because yes, he's already won it. He knows that the adulation you get from winning it, he scored in the final. He'll be all focused about tonight's game.
I'm going to take full credit for Kai Havertz's run of form recently. Why? Because our producer's an Arsenal fan. The guy who cuts my hair, yeah, that guy, is an Arsenal fan. Both of them for Christmas. I got them a Kai Havertz scarf, and it was a Mickey take. Honestly, because he was so bad.
I agree with you.
Ever since then, he's just been rattling in goals left, right, and centre. It's down to me.
Do you know what? He's probably heard the noises while I'm going, that Adrian Durham. Do you know what? He's always coming for us. Definitely. I'm going to show him, and to be fair to him, fair play. I've given him a bit stick aid at the start of the season. But how do you quieten people that are giving you stick? You start putting in performances. You start putting the ball in the back of the net, and then no one can say anything.
Listen, Bukayo Saka we haven't even mentioned yet, and we must do. He's one of my favourite players. Goal and assist in all 3 group stage home games. He scored just 8 minutes into his first ever Champions League game. He's unbelievable, isn't he?
He is unbelievable, and the way you get Bukayo Saka into a game and get him to start hurting the opposition, get it to him early. When you look at some of the games he's played where he's been a little bit quieter, it's because they've taken ages to get the ball to him, and when you get it to him, he's got 2-3 men on him, and rightly so. If Ben White gets the ball and gives it to him early, and he gets 1v1, he could be the most important player for Arsenal this evening for sure.
I'm just looking to where your season ticket seats are opposite us. Do you wish you were over there singing North London Forever?
Absolutely not, but I'm looking thinking I can't see my friends. Have they stolen my tickets? So I'm beginning to wonder.
Sold them on. the North London Forever thing, whatever you think about it, every club has an anthem now. And I noticed at the weekend TV stopped for You'll Never Walk Alone. and I wonder why TV doesn't stop for every anthem at every club. You know, Nottingham Forest is fantastic.
Yeah.
The Sheffield United one is absolutely
West Ham with the bubbles.
West Ham with the bubbles, and they do North London Forever here. We're now getting a light show, building up the atmosphere. By the way, the stadium absolutely jam-packed here tonight, and there's flags in the seats away to our left amongst the Arsenal fans, and those flags are being waved as well. There's some people talk about flags on seats and anthems that were created and manufactured for it. But whatever you say about it, whether you're a fan or not, it builds an atmosphere.
It's giving me goosebumps. Just looking at all the lights and all the cameras and, as you said, the scarves and the atmosphere that they're trying to generate. Whatever will help Arsenal win this game tonight, they have to do it. And listen, I'm really impressed with it. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but still, as I said, it's making the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
It is. And once the game gets going, Arsenal will be on the front foot, no doubt. But Porto, as we said before, will be defending. They've scored 23 goals fewer than the side at the top of the table in Portugal, Sporting Lisbon, even though they're only 7 points behind them in third place. That's a lot of goals, the big chasm between them. They've only conceded 17 in 25 games. That tells you everything you need to know about how Porto set up.
That's exactly why Arsenal have to start fast. You get your noses in front, the whole dynamics of the Porto team has to change. They can't just sit in there all of a sudden. They have to come out and try and get that goal. So it is imperative that Arsenal score first and do not allow Porto to score first, because if they do, it will be a long evening for Arsenal for sure.
Teams are in the tunnel. William Saliba looking focused. Just got a shot of Pepe there. 41 years old. He's just turned 41. And you mentioned 3 Champions Leagues. He's got the medal. He only played in one of the finals, though, the Atletico Madrid one. They took him off before the penalties as well. Ben White looking super focused. Quick word on Ben White. When we talked about him last night on Game Night with Danny Murphy, any chance of an England recall? Because at fullback we've got injuries, and he's arguably the best right back in the country right now.
Absolutely, Aid. I think he deserves an England call-up. I think secretly, behind Saka and Declan Rice, he is in the conversation for Arsenal Player of the Year for sure. He's going about his business, quality. He's been brilliant all season, and I expect another top performance in from this evening.
Well, teams on their way out. Just wait for the noise. We've got some goals that have gone in already. It's top against bottom in the National League, and Chesterfield, unsurprisingly, lead Oxford City 1-0. Will Griggs, 24th of the season. Also in the National League, Ebbsfleet won up at Aldershot, and Altrincham lead York by a goal to 0. Bottom of League One, Carlisle lead Barnsley 1-0. Barnsley battered 5-1 and owned by Lincoln at the weekend. Luke Armstrong has put Paul Simpson's side in front. Jordan Shipley's been sent off for Shrewsbury already after just 6 minutes. In League Two, Forest Green, who are struggling at the foot of the table, they're second bottom, but they won at the weekend. They are leading at Bradford City by a goal to 0. And Lincoln lead Cambridge 1-0 as well. Jack Moylan, who nearly got a hat-trick at the weekend, scored 2. He has got the goal. Tranmere 1-0 up on the League Two leaders Mansfield as well. Regan Hendry after 12 minutes as the Champions League anthem plays. What an atmosphere at the Emirates. Mikel Arteta has led the drive from the very top to whip it up pre-match and in-game. He's gone for the light shows, the flamethrowers and pre-match anthem. It's all down to the manager. He's the leader. So can he lead this side to Premier League glory and to Champions League glory? He's got to get them into the quarterfinals first, and there's serious work to do tonight. Arsenal Porto, they're going to go down. It's live on Talksport with former England striker Darren Bent, alongside your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian. Good evening to you. Well, they've had to wait some time for this. It's the night Arsenal fans have craved. Knockout Champions League football back at the Emirates after a hiatus that, well, it's longer than they care to think about. But now it is here, and it is laced with jeopardy. Even when the Gunners were playing in this tournament on an annual basis, this was a hurdle that became insurmountable every March, punctuated with another frustrating, occasionally damaging round of 16 defeat that cast a shadow over their season. The last 7 ties at this stage have all ended in defeat. Tonight, certainly among the acid tests of the progress that has been made under Arteta. Anything less than a quarter-final will feel like failure. And there's work to do after they were stifled, suffocated and sucker-punched by Porto in the first leg. Night when the Gunners didn't muster a single shot on target. All the pre-match talk has been about learning from mistakes. It's essential that they have. Well, this is how Arsenal line up tonight. Raya in goal. White, Saliba, Gabriel and Kivior, the same back four that played in Portugal. Ødegaard and Rice ahead of Jorginho. Jorginho didn't play in that game. Havertz playing through the middle. He played in midfield out in Portugal. Trossard, who played at 9, is on the wing tonight. And Saka is on the right. The Arsenal bench, Partey, Jesus, Smith-Rowe, Nketiah, Cedric Tomiyasu, Javi Vieira, Nelson, Elneny, Zinchenko, and the goalkeepers Ramsdale and High. Porto, the same side that won at the weekend in the league, the same side that beat Arsenal 3 weeks ago. Diogo Costa in goal, João Mario, Pepe, Otavio and Wendell, Nico Gonzalez and Varela, Conceição, Pepe and Galeno, and Evan Nielsen is the striker. Referee tonight, Clement Turpin. Darren Bent alongside me. Bent, is absolutely essential that the referee is on top of this game.
He's going to have to be, Jim, and we know exactly what Porto will do. They'll try and slow the game down, they'll try and buy fouls, free kicks, wave their arms about. He has to be strong. This game could be set down to a set play or something that could obviously seriously change the game. But as long as the referee is strong and doesn't buy into all that, then he should be in for a good game.
Well, it's been a fantastic atmosphere here, as you would anticipate. It was a massive banner over on the heads of the Arsenal fans over on the far side. Nuestra Casa, it said, our house. With a big picture of the clock from the clock end here. Arsenal know this really is, more than so many others, a day of destiny. The night when they can secure their first Champions League quarter-final for 14 years. A night when only a win will do. Porto standing in their way, defending a 1-0 lead. Tonight for the Gunners to show they deserve to be back amongst the biggest of the big boys. Arsenal in their traditional red and white, and they kick from left to right in this first half. Porto blue and white striped shirts, blue shorts, their customary colours. And Arsenal could bring the ball forward with Gabriel. Just calming things down about 20 yards outside the penalty area. Played into the feet of Jorginho, who has been lightly raced for much of the season, but has been starting the big games when they've mattered late on. Havertz putting the pressure on here, and he's judged, and I think the assistant referee probably got it right, to have fouled Otavio on the edge of the Porto box. It's a minute in, it's 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what Arsenal have got to do, get in behind. It looks like Porto are going to be going 4 at the back with 2 just in front of him as well, and I don't expect that to change much. They're going to have 10 yards in front of them, not allow space in and amongst Pepe and certainly in front of that back line as well. But if Arsenal can exploit the space in behind, they give themselves a great chance.
We'll keep you up to date with all of the goals as they go in. A reminder that live here right now over on Talksport 2, it's Derby against Reading, the pick of the games in the EFL tonight. And still 0-0. Got the Talksport app. You can easily swipe left and swipe right and keep across of all of the action that's taking place. I'll bring you news of all of the goals as they go in, as we will here. Newport leading Morecambe by a goal to 0 in League 2, the latest to have been scored. And other than that, you are up to date. And Gabriel's going to bring the ball forward inside the centre circle now for Arsenal. And Saliba will venture forward. Ben White on the Arsenal right-hand side. Saka well marshalled, choked the ball into feet, and he's got it now. Jorginho playing it to him. Turned forward by White. And then away by Nico Gonzalez in the midfield for Porto. Saliba with the ball over the top. Havertz acknowledging the intent of the pass. He raised a right thumb. It was slightly overhit. He goes through for Diogo Costa. Mikel Arteta's talked about the crowd doing their bit. They are already doing their bit. Not just the atmosphere they build up before the game, but also every surreptitious piece of time wasting from the Porto players is being alerted to the referee by the boos and the whistles of the Arsenal supporters.
They have to do that as well, and the Arsenal players as well need to get around the referee every single time there's a throw on and they're taking a bit longer than they should, or the goalkeeper is taking his time with a goal kick, or when he catches it you have to be in the referee's ear all the time. Ref, come on, let's get the game going. But as you can see here, Jim, Porto, they're going to put 10, 11 men behind the ball, and Arsenal going to have to be patient. They're going to have to play quick, but they're going to have to be patient because you've got the bank of 4 here. You've got 3 in front of them as well, so the space is going to be behind, or they're going to have to go quickly. There's no point trying to play through them because there's no space in there.
Saka has no well to get away from Nico Gonzalez, and he runs forward. A clean challenge on him around the edge of the penalty area. Rice can pick up the loose ball. Out it goes to the Arsenal left-hand side now for Leandro Trossard. Trossard trying to hit the byline, fires it in. Ben White with a good jump, and the header clears. The keeper just goes onto the roof of the net. First real attempt from either side. 3.5 minutes in. It's all Arsenal, but it's 0-0.
Absolutely fantastic from Saka, driving inside as well, and it was a really good cut cross from Leandro Trossard. Just hung it up at the back post, and Ben White, I think he tries to kind of glance it back where it come from, back into that area, but he gets a little bit too much on it and it lands on the top of the goal. But really good play from Arsenal so far.
Goal in the Championship at St Andrews is Talksport's Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1. It had to be. Riley McGree, the former Birmingham player, with their sensational strike. Well won by Ayling in midfield. Ball up to McGree on the edge of the area. Left-footed shot has found the top corner. It's a sweet strike. Birmingham 0, Borough 1.
That's Blues game in hand. They're a point clear of the bottom three at the start of the night. Newport 2, Morecambe 0. Adam Lewis has got a second. This one is 0-0. It's goalless as well between Barcelona and Napoli after a 1-1 draw in the first leg. Porto with a 1-0 aggregate advantage in this, and David Raya forced to sweep up on the right-hand side of his own penalty area, just coming out and able to get the ball away from the chasing Galeno, and out for a throw that will be taken down towards that corner flag on the Porto left. Essential that Arsenal have defensive solidity and stability, which they were able to do by and large in the first leg. I mean, Porto had very few attempts on target, but it's absolutely imperative that they don't concede the first goal here tonight. Long throw inside the penalty area is easily cleared. It comes back down to the left flank, Wendell, and all the way back to his goalkeeper, Diogo Costa.
That's where the Arsenal players have to be on the referee, because there it took about 30 seconds to get the throw-in in. I know Arsenal don't want to be overly quick, but they need to get the ball back into play. They've got to get onto the referee and make him aware of it. But Arsenal started off well, but as you said there, Jim, 100% they cannot concede first, because once they do that, Porto will just on the edge of their own box, camp on the edge of their own box, and there'll be no space anywhere.
Now a little stumble from Saliba as Otavio played the ball forward. And that means that the leading scorer, Evan Nilsson, can pick up easy possession. Out on the left-hand side, Wendell's making his way forward. Low ball in from him, easily knocked away. And then Saka trying the overhead kick with his left foot. Just came off the top of his boot and goes out for another throw, which will be taken on the Porto left. The ball thrown back in from the crowd quickly, and that actually works in Porto's favour, because it's allowed them with two balls on the pitch just to waste a little bit of time. Needless to say, two balls on the pitch quickly became no balls on the pitch as the two Porto players both got rid of what they were pretending was the spurious one. But they do take this throw eventually. Wendell plays it in. It's well blocked by Havertz. It goes out for another Porto throw. This one back on halfway. 6 gone 0-0.
Havertz looks really sharp. I mean, he's got involved and got on the ball a couple of times. He's shut down Porto a few times. But again, Jim, as you can hear here, it's balls from the Arsenal fans, because they are taking so long with throw-ons, and the referee, we keep saying it, has to be strong. But Arsenal need to keep their composure, because opportunities will come.
Well, it doesn't necessarily matter that they are wasting the time in the manner they do, providing the officials stay strong and add on all of this time.
Exactly, and that's what we're hoping, because every time the ball goes out of play, it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds, which is ridiculous. It's too long. But as you said there, if they keep doing it and the referee's aware of it, at the end of this half, there should be a lot of injury time.
Otavio, a long left-footed ball forward. Kivior sees it drift over his shoulder. Trossard's got to come back and defend. Has done that really well to get it away from the on-rushing Porto right-back João Mario. Trossard then, on the turn, gets it away from down by his own corner flag, and Havertz has led the line really well there. He came back, chested it down. The referee, though, I don't know whether he thought that the ball had hit an arm, but he's given a free kick Porto's way, about 15-18 yards inside Arsenal territory.
Yeah, I thought it just narrowly hit his arm. I mean, he's done really well to get in front of the defender, and he's going to have to do that a lot, because he's going to be isolated for a lot of this game. Porto pushing forward, but when he does get the ball, he's going to have to hang on to it, and that will allow the likes of Saka and Trossard to get in and around him, and then they can start attacks from there. But he's going to be key tonight, Havertz.
In League 2, Crawley 0, Notts County 1. Sam Austin and Sam Tickles put through his own net. Wickham leading Wigan 1-0. Here comes this free kick. It's actually knocked short for Pepe. And then a right-footed ball driven inside the penalty area is knocked away. The veteran Pepe can come back. He's out of position. And that means that Chico Conceição, the son of the manager, just mops up and goes all the way back to his goalkeeper to bring things under control, allow Pepe back in position. Porto have got their defensive shape again, and they will just maintain possession under little pressure back inside their own penalty area, with Diogo Costa getting it away. Out it goes to the right-hand side for Conceição. Back for Pepe. Shaven-headed player who won the 2016 final. It's Real Madrid days. Veteran of way over 900 games now for club and country.
Ooh.
And here's Otavio playing alongside him at centre-half, a much younger player, but he's started every game since making his move to the club in the January transfer window. His ball forward is cleared well by White. because he knocked it straight into Wendell. And out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Arsenal right-hand side. With 9 minutes in, Arsenal with the one half chance so far, but not too much in the way of constructive goal-scoring opportunities for either side so far, Darren.
No, not. And to be fair for Arsenal, they might be better letting Porto have a bit of possession, letting them try and build up from the back, because if you allow them to come onto you, that will create space. Because at the minute, Porto just sitting in their shape. Pepe's got his two holders in front of him. They're not really moving. There's no space anywhere. If you allow Porto to have a bit of possession and they start to get a bit overly confident, then all of a sudden, there's space everywhere on their counter-attack, and Arsenal could exploit it.
Well, Porto took 17 seconds about that throw. Adrian Durham tells me he's keeping an eye on everything, so it will add up pretty quickly. Well, obviously, you're not going to throw the ball back on instantly. But the extra 10 seconds that they're taking that might be expected will all accrue. At the moment, it's 0-0 on the night and 1-0 to Arsenal on aggregate. The ball cleared by Diogo Costa. High one forward, which Kivior heads away. Big night for him, the left back. Probably the least experienced of the Arsenal players by and large in terms of the big games. I mean, there are several in this Arsenal side that haven't played a Champions League knockout tie before, but Kivior in the grand scheme of things pretty lightly raced, so it's a big night for him.
Here it is, yeah, he's been outstanding.
Odegaard has done well to win it back, right hand side of the penalty area, left footed ball clipped in, didn't have the legs to get to Trossard, who will try and shape up for an overhead, that didn't come off. Low driven ball in from Kivior is clear before Saka got there. The home crowd infused by what they've seen, and the Gunners will bring it forward again. 10 gone, 0-0. 1-0 to Porto on aggregate here on Talksport with Jim Proudfoot, the former England international striker Darren Bent, alongside me at the home of his boyhood team Arsenal, where he's hoping to see his side progress to a Champions League quarter-final for the first time in 14 years. 7 successive eliminations at this stage, followed by 7 years of not getting to the Champions League at all. So, big night is an overused cliche. This, though, is a big night.
It's huge because Arsenal are playing fantastic football. They probably are the favourites to go through this tie. But to be fair, the crowd are doing their part, Jim. They are singing, they're loud, there's a flares going up, they're all supporting the players, and the players have got to feed off that. If you feed off that and you can feel your home crowd, it helps. It's half the battle.
Pepe's got enough of a head start to deal with a long ball sent forward for Trossard down the inside left channel, and Pepe worked it back to his goalkeeper. Declan Rice is in there, and Donald Turpin has judged that a free kick should be given Porto's way. A foul was committed by Rice. Hasn't let anything go so far, the referee, which perhaps suggests in these early stages that he's going to be quite stringent. That might not be good as far as Arsenal are concerned. You are listening to Arsenal against Porto in the Champions League on Talksport, supported by TNT Sports. And don't forget, you can watch tonight's game and all the Champions League games live only on TNT Sports. We're 12 minutes into this one. David Raya takes a goal kick for the Gunners. We're played down to halfway for Saka. Ben White then turning it forward. Saka with the opportunity to try and run at the back line. Nico Gonzalez has come back. He's going to be able to get it onto his left foot. Oh, goalkeeper spilt it. It's gone out of play. No, it hasn't even gone out of play. Saka's won it back. Gets it back to Odegaard on the edge of the penalty area. Odegaard making his way through. Jorginho playing him in. This time he goes out of play for a corner. That was a sign of real nerves from Diogo Costa, because it was a rudimentary shot and he misjudged, and he came off his left hand. He was lucky that it squirted wide of his left hand post and he was able to get it away. Well, Arsenal on the front foot.
That's what Arsenal have to do. Get the ball to Saka early, and we've seen it 1v1 against the fullback Wendell. He will go past him at any given moment. He's too strong, he's too quick. You have to get it to him early. As you saw, they cut inside. The goalkeeper made a bit of a mess of it, but when Saka's got a 1v1 with anybody in the country, he'll get past them, and he showed it there.
Well, we watched Porto in their warm-up trying to defend set pieces. It was a very strange warm-up drill. We were hypothesising that it might mean that Arsenal score from their first set piece. Saka working it short for Trossard. He's pulled back towards Odegaard. Left footed, he's dragged it wide. Goalkeeper actually had it covered. It's kissed the side netting and gone out of play. That was the Arsenal set piece, and Gunners fans will know all about them, where they line 4 or 5 up at the back post, and then just as Saka or Rice on the other side comes to address the ball, they will make movement in from that area. Sometimes they gravitate around the 6-yard box. Sometimes they all start to assemble on the far post. It was that corner that we saw that time. Worked short. Ødegaard getting a shot in. And Porto know they're in a game here. Much better Arsenal performance tonight than we saw in the first leg.
Well, they've started really, really quick, and that's what they have to do. And even with that set play there, really inventive, really clever. It was just the execution at the end. I think the pass to Ødegaard wasn't quite on his left foot, and he had to kind of adjust his body and didn't get enough on it. But again, it's another opportunity at goal, and it will give them confidence.
Now goals elsewhere. Lincoln leading Cambridge by 2-0. Jack Moylan has got them both. In the National League, Southend 1, Dorking 0. Woking a goal up at Rochdale, one of the big games. Here it's still 0-0. Kai Havertz trying to find a way through. Otavio, who's looked the part over the time that he's been at Porto, doing well to clear. It's a lovely touch though from Trossard as Arsenal win it back, and he's got Declan Rice making his way forward. Rice is almost at the bylines, trying to drag the ball back in towards Trossard. It's easily cleared firstly by João Mario, and then out towards the right-hand side for Conceição. But Arsenal again able to win the second. Was a divine little backheel flick round the corner to get Arsenal going again. Rice back out towards Trossard. Trossard's right-footed ball in. Saka attacking it with his head. And it's well defended by Wendler, who's right with him. So Saka's goal-bound header hit the full-back and cannon through the penalty area to relative safety. But Arsenal will come again. Another quickly taken throw. That's come off Rice and goes out of play for a goal kick. For the first 15 minutes, giving everybody here plenty of signs of encouragement. Still 0-0.
You know what, Jim? That's a chance, because Saka is the right side of the defender. As an attacker, as the ball's coming in from Trossard, a really good ball, he's got the run on him, but he just doesn't get enough on it. If he gets a clean header, it's an opportunity at goal. So Saka's probably thinking to himself there, I should have done better, because he had the run, he had a yard on him, but he just doesn't get enough on the header, and they managed to deal with it really well.
So this one, 0-0. There has been a goal in the other Champions League tie tonight. Here's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, it's Barcelona 1, Napoli 0. Fermin Lopez has scored it, the 20-year-old. Ball played across from the left-hand side. He was near the penalty spot, rolled it in right-footed. Really calm from the youngster. 1-0 on the night, 2-1 to Barcelona on aggregate.
And Evan Nilsson's just had an effort here, making his way to the edge of the penalty area. Got it onto his left foot there. Leading scorer pulled it wide of the far post, with David Raya having a cover.
Lack of communication. Saliba's got all the time in the world there just to bring it down if he wanted to and go back to David Raya. He heads it into no man's land. And as you said, Evan Nilsson, he gets a shot on goal, and it looked like Raya saved it, but he didn't. But you've got to be better with that with Saliba. He's been pretty much faultless all season.
Loose ball in the midfield on the head of Gabriel. Returned by Nico Gonzalez. Arsenal won lots of second ball in the early stages. They have it here with Kai Havertz. It's gone out of play for a throw that Ben White's looking to try and take quickly. Havertz had tumbled over and found himself just in the dotted technical area. Quickly back on his feet and receiving the ball from Ben White from the throw. 17 minutes in, it's 0-0. A couple of presentable half chances for Arsenal, but as Darren was saying right at the start of the game, patience is going to be key tonight for the Gunners. Don't have to get the job done inside the opening half hour, for all the fact that they've had some blistering starts this season. Here's Ben White coming in off the right flank, back for Saliba to Saka to Ødegaard travelling with it, well tackled on the edge of the box, and Porto clear. Let's get news of another goal at Barcelona, Jeff.
2 goals in 3 minutes. Barcelona 2-0 up, 3-1 on aggregate. João Cancelo has scored it. Rafinha's shot hit the post, and Cancelo first to react. Barcelona well on top, 2-0 on the night, 3-1 aggregate.
Now Saka, Ødegaard trying to find Ben White, couldn't quite. Wendell brings it away. One back again on the Arsenal right-hand side by Ødegaard, and the referee says that there was a foul. I think Jorginho that is down in need of treatment on this near touchline. Just got caught about a yard in from the right-hand side. It's going to be a free kick which will be taken midway inside the Porto half, but this is an opportunity to swing it into a dangerous area.
We know exactly how strong Arsenal are from set plays. Scored more goals from set plays than anyone else in the Premier League, so whenever delivery will be right. Declan Rice has been putting in some fantastic crosses, but just there as well, Martin Ødegaard has got himself into lovely position on the edge of the box. He's got a great left foot, but he tries to be too cute with the pass at times. Hit the shot, you never know, the keeper might save it, it might drop to one of your teammates, but he's tried to be a bit too precise with the pass, and the attacks have kind of fallen away. But at some point you've got to have a shot at goal, you never know, he spills it, anything could happen.
So Declan Rice stands over this free kick, and the whistle blows, and then he makes his way over away from the ball to chat to Ødegaard. Now he comes back and he makes a gesture with his hands above his head, and 4 Arsenal players respond by standing in behind the line of 7 defending this for Porto on the edge of the penalty area. So they're all in offside positions. Now they come back. The ball volleyed over the bar. The offside flag was up. Porto did really well there, because as soon as that quartet came back in behind the 7 along the edge of the penalty area, they then retreated, and Porto in unison came out with them. So they're still 2 yards apart, and they couldn't get themselves back on side as the ball was played into space.
Jim, you've got to be brave. Now, me in that position there, I'm not being that brave. I'm running back with my with my attacker. You have to be brave, because if one person gets that wrong, Arsenal have got to tap in. I know the finish was poor from Gabriel, but that's good coaching, good captaincy from Pepe, communication, but it's an opportunity missed for Arsenal.
Now goals elsewhere. Carlisle struggling at the bottom of League One, and they conceded at home to Barnsley, so that is 1-1 there. Grimsby lead NK Dons 1-0. Shrewsbury down to 10 men from the very early stage of their match now, trail at home to Exeter 1-0, and Bolton are 1-up at home to Oxford. It's Nathaniel Ogbeta, that has got that goal for the Trotters at the Tough Sheet Stadium. This one 20 minutes in. Barcelona leading by 2-0, 3-1 up against Napoli on aggregate. This one is 0-0 and 1-0 to Porto on aggregate. Arsenal won all 3 Champions League ties here this season in the group stage. They've scored 12 goals without reply in that trio of games. Just a reminder that the away goals don't count, that you're aware of that. Arsenal need to win in 90 minutes. And if they can do that, they will, at the very least, take the tie to extra time. Saliba in possession for the Gunners. Play to his left-hand side for Gabriel. Work forward, Trossard with a clever little deft flick out towards the left-hand side. The return ball to him wasn't as good from Kivior. Jorginho has to come back, break up the play by giving a free kick away. That was a professional foul with a capital P. He knew exactly what he was doing there.
Jorginho, with all his experience, maybe realising there was a bit of danger and having to stop their counter-attacks. But Arsenal might have to be different about the way they approach this game, because you've got Saka, pace on one side, but the other side, Houston Martinelli, who's a burner as well. He's very, very quick. But when you've got the likes of Trossard and Kai Havertz, you can't just put it in behind all of a sudden. You've got to be a bit more acute with your delivery, certainly into Kai Havertz, because Oviedo, he's already shown in his first half, he can run. When the ball goes in behind him, he's given Kai Havertz 2 or 3 yards and still caught him.
Darren, we were talking before the game about Gabriel Jesus and his non-inclusion today. You think there would be a case to be made for Jesus maybe starting on the left-hand side rather than Trossard?
I think he's better coming off the left. I know he's a very intelligent footballer, picks up really good areas and will travel with the ball, and I'm sure we'll see him tonight. But you're right, maybe that just a little bit more pace might have been the way forward. But Trossard's earned the right. He's been playing really well.
Pepe Aquino. Here's Evan Nielsen, right for his shot, is well saved. Diving to his left-hand side, David Raya beats it away. Outside the penalty area, he comes back in, Evan Nielsen trying to flick it on. Possibility to set up a shot from Wendell, that one is blocked on the edge of the penalty area. And he goes out of play for a Porto throw. That's just a little warning shot across the bounds, that's the best save of the night. It was David Raya that had to make it.
You've got to be switched on. Although you've had all the possession in the world, they're good players, Porto, they've got good technical players. Ganelo up front as well, Evan Nielsen.
They'll come again and try and push forward down the right-hand side. It's in towards Evan Nielsen, and Gabriel did well just to step across him at the near post and get it away. Havertz helps it forward, but there's no out ball for him, and it's easily mopped up by Otavio. And the Porto supporters at the top right-hand corner of the ground as we're looking out at it. If you imagine the ground as a clock face, the Porto fans from where we are about 1 or 2 o'clock, something like that. A sea of blue, scarves being whipped around the head, delighted with what they've seen so far. They got through the first quarter of the game unscathed. They still have that aggregate lead. And 0-0 the score on the night. And I talked earlier, away form has been a mixed bag this season, because they've lost the big games. They've lost away to each of the top 2. They lost at Barcelona as well. But over the last 45 games away from home, they've only had 2 results that wouldn't be good enough for at least extra time. One of those away to Sporting, the other to relatively lowly Estoril in a League Cup tie where they made a lot of changes. But other than that, They don't lose many, and the ones that they do lose away from home, they only lose by a single goal. So there's every chance that this could become quite attritional for Arsenal, but they've just got to get their noses in front. They've got to score at some stage. They haven't been able to do that in the opening quarter of the game here on Talksport, where it's still 0-0.
I think you've seen, Jim, why they're so good defensively. I mean, they get into shape so quickly, and that's why you've got to move the ball forward quickly, because Pepe just there, Otavio's there next to him, they don't really move, they've got the two sitters in front of them. So Arsenal, if they're going to get the ball out to Saka or Trossard into Kai Havertz, they've got to do it quick, and that might be someone having to drive with the ball rather than pass it.
League Two leaders Mansfield have equalised in their game at Tranmere through Will Swan. Walsall leading Barrow 1-0 also in League Two. This one remains 0-0. Reminder, all the EFL goals as they go in, interspersed with live commentary of Derby against Reading, live for you right now over on Talksport 2. Barcelona 2, Napoli 0, Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1 in the Championship. This one remains 0-0. David Raya with one tidy save. It would have been disappointing if that effort from Evan Nielsen beat him, but he did well to knock it away. Arsenal take a goal kick, determined to try and invite the press and play through it. And although they've kept relatively easy possession, Porto weren't sucking into anything. Chased in the right places, but dropped back into a shape when it became obvious that Arsenal had a chance of playing through. So Arsenal now venturing conservatively forward towards the edge of the centre circle. 25 gone at 0-0 here on Talksport.
Do you know what, Jim? Their shape is outstanding, Porto. I mean, they've got all 10 outfield players in about a 20-yard radius where there's just no space anywhere. You can't play through them. Arsenal having to go backwards. What someone's going to have to do is maybe commit someone, draw someone out and then go through it, because if you're trying to go back to front so quickly, I mean, Jorginho now is screaming at Saka because the space is in behind this back line, but if you keep trying to go feet, Porto will defend that all day.
Also in League Two tonight, Wimbledon leading Gillingham by a goal to 0. The Gills are down to 10 men. Conor Masterson's just been sent off for a second yellow card. Here's Ben White in possession for Arsenal. In terms of the disciplinary situation, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves a little, but Declan Rice gets booked tonight. He'll miss the first leg of the quarter-finals. Porto have got 3 of their starters and a substitute on yellow cards, so they in turn will miss the first leg of the quarter-final if they go through. Quickly taken throw by Ben White in towards Kai Havertz. It's bounced off him a little under pressure, but Saka's been able to pick it up. Haven't got Saka into the game in the last 15 minutes in the way that they could in the first 10. Gabriel inside the centre circle goes back to halfway, and Arsenal more than happy to retreat here with Kivior. Play it back towards Raya, allowing Porto to come up, and Constantine at the place of Raya's got the opportunity to play a long one over the top. There was no flick on from Trossard. That's what they were looking for. Ødegaard wins the second so in the midfield. Rice now to Jorginho. Jorginho gets it away from Conceição. Pepe Aquino coming back to defend, but Trossard has done well to beat both him and João Mario. Left-footed ball clipped in, and a sharp header from Declan Rice to the near post goes wide.
Yeah, he just couldn't get enough on it, and it's a really good play from Trossard. Obviously faces his man up, go past him to the byline, he cuts it back. But I think Declan Rice has just gone too far past the near post, and he's tried to direct it, and it looks like he's taken a bang in the face, but he just couldn't glance it, which is what he needs to do in that area, but I just don't think there was enough space for him to get it on target.
Now we've got more live sport coming your way tomorrow. I hope your first day at Cheltenham was good. If you had a little investment, I hope it was profitable for you. With State Man winning the big one today. The champion hurdle for Willie Mullins, one of 3 winners that he had. Day 2 tomorrow, the first 4 races live for you on Talksport. Tomorrow night we've got another live choice of action for you on Talksport 2. It's Borussia Dortmund against PSV Eindhoven, and Talksport, the rearranged game between Bournemouth and Luton Town, which will be an emotional affair. We're down in Dorset for that tomorrow night on Talksport. As Arsenal bring the ball forward here. Bukayo Saka, right-hand side of the penalty area, just eased out of the way, strongly but fairly, by the left-back Wendell, just lent into it. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. Now, he might be one of the weak links, Wendell, potentially, because Zaidu, who's the first choice left-back, has got an ACL problem that he picked up just before the first leg. They weren't really able to expose Wendell as much as they would have liked in that first leg, and haven't really been able to get the better of him so far tonight. The makeshift left back. It's the first time we've seen the referee give the goalkeeper the hurry up from a goal kick. He played it out not very effectively, but Porto have been able to keep possession, and they go wide out towards the right hand side here for João Mario. Conceição making a run ahead of him, back towards Varela in the midfield. And now Porto venture towards the edge of the Arsenal box. A high left-footed ball swung in. Galeno with a header, and Raya with a really good play. Came out, caught it about 6 yards out, and made sure that it didn't fall Evan Nielsen's way.
Really good goalkeeping there, because I thought, what's going to happen here? But he came and claimed it really well. And now this is what Arsenal might have to do. Let Porto onto them, and now Saka's got another 1v1.
And he's got Ben White outside him. Saka going alone. Now finds White. White chipping it in. Great ball towards the far post. And a brilliant defensive header. Got it away from Havertz. That is a sensational cross. Because it looks as though he's going to wrap his right foot around it. And all he does instead, he just chips it towards the far post. So the goalkeeper out of it with a top spin. It's coming down quickly. It's a very brave defensive header from Pepe to get it away, and at no thought of personal cost, because he has smacked into the post as he's cleared that.
Do you know what, Jim? It's a great ball from Ben White, but I'm not sure if when he did the overlap there, he wasn't better off just whipping it along the ground, because Kai Havertz has taken a really good position at the back post, and he's got the wrong side of Pepe. So if you flash that ball across, he might have a tap in, but listen, it was a great ball from Ben White and really good defending from Pepe.
The 10-man Shrewsbury 2 down at home to Exeter now in League One. Bolton have doubled their lead. In comes this corner from Rice towards the near post, and it's headed away. And then cleared on the half volley, left-footed, out of play for a throw that Bukayo Saka's going to be in a hurry to take quickly. Throws it down towards Saliba. The ball boys obviously been told to try and hurry things up tonight, and on that occasion, as the ball came to Saka, there was another one just crept onto the pitch.
Bit naughty that, Jim, because that was the coach from Porto. He threw it on. Bit naughty that.
Someone somewhere will do a documentary one day about people who benefit from balls being thrown onto a pitch. Here's Saka on the right-hand side. Look at Gonzalez with a challenge on him. Ben White scoring with a shot that deflected off a beach ball. That was the reference. Ben White taking a free kick too quickly. It's actually just going to shave the outside of the post and go wide, but the free kick is going to have to be retaken, and Saka is still down. The referee coming over and having a word with 2 or 3 of the Arsenal players. We can catch up with events in Barcelona. Another goal, I think, for you, Jeff Peters.
Yeah, Napoli are back in this through Amir Romani into the bottom corner. First time finish, well picked out pass from the right hand side. So Napoli trail 2-1 on the night. Barcelona 3-2 up on aggregate.
Amir Romani with that goal. As Jeff says, that makes it 3-2 to Barcelona on aggregate. Barca unbeaten in 8, Napoli unbeaten in 6. 1-1 from the first leg. Now Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard stand over this free kick, which is level with us, midway inside the Porto half, right over on the right-hand touchline, the near side. Odegaard, left-footed, plenty of air underneath that. Goalkeeper comes out, not the most convincing punch, comes outside the penalty area for Saka, who wins the corner.
Poor goalkeeper now. I thought he was going to come and catch it. He elected to punch it, and he punched it almost back into danger, up in the air. So Arsenal know how strong they are from set plays, and this is another opportunity. And now the mind games start from Porto,
because one of their players has gone down inside the penalty area, and something actually was thrown onto the pitch, maybe a lighter, thrown onto the pitch at him. It's Wendell, the left back, who is the injured player, just getting back to his feet now. And João Mario, his teammate, just gives him a pat, tells him to get up and get on with it. Arsenal take this corner. It's going to be Saka who will swing it in. How have Arsenal approached this? They've got Odegaard and Rice on the edge of the area. Havertz is near the edge of the box, but inside the penalty area. There's no Arsenal player inside the 6. They've got 4 or 5 in the far post area. Trossard the most central of them. Ben White is trying to make life difficult now, and he makes a run in towards the near post. Plenty of movement in that near post area, but they couldn't get the flick that they wanted. Saka's corner is headed away, and it goes out of play for an Arsenal throw. Saka takes it from about 10 yards too far forward. It didn't work for him because there was just a little bit too much on it. Went past Odegaard into the hands of the goalkeeper. 12 to go to half-time, and it's still Arsenal 0, Porto 0. Intriguingly poised.
It is, and Arsenal doing what they can there. They're creating opportunities. They're getting into good areas, but maybe it's a little bit of quality at the end, that Saka cross there, or when they're getting into the final third. But they're certainly getting into the good areas. But they've just got to just relax when they get in there. There's still a long way to go before the game's over, so just keep going, keep playing the same way, don't deviate from the game plan, and I'm sure as the longer the game goes on and the more tired Porto get, we'll get more opportunities.
Wendell with the throw. Jorginho stretching, able to volley it back up the touchline. And out of play for a throw. Arsenal have only made it through the round of 16 5 times in 14 attempts in their European history. I'm still very hopeful that they're going to be able to extend that run favourably tonight. They've lost possession now, though, with Pepe Aquino bringing it for Jorginho did brilliantly. Former European winner himself to stop the ball and then turn it away and get Declan Rice coming forward again. We'll get half-time details from St Andrews in a moment, where Middlesbrough lead. But Porto bring it forward. Trossard felt as though he was barged to the ground there by Conceição, who struggled in the first legs, had a better second leg tonight. Ball goes out to João Mario. He will play it back. And Porto go all the way back via Pepe to their goalkeepers. Let's get half-time details from St Andrews. Here's Talksport's Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1. Ronnie McGree, spectacular strike, separates the side. He picked out the top corner from 20 yards in some starts. A good work by Ayling. Burrow should be further in front. Latte La denied by Ruddy at close range and firing wide after being picked out from a throw-in. Birmingham second best in all departments. Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Evan Nielsen helping the ball forward here, where Galeno is flagged offside. That's the one thing that Arsenal have done really well defensively tonight. But one of the things so far, touch wood, they've effectively marked Galeno out of it. I mean, he was a danger man in the first day. We've seen very little of him so far tonight, Darren.
Yeah, and do you know what that is, Jim? That's them getting the ball to Saka and him having to double up, because they obviously don't trust Wendell 1v1 with Saka. He's already been past him a couple of times, and Galeno's having to come back and make that 2v1 to kind of help him out. So that takes a little bit away from what he's doing in the attacking area. So that's well played, Arsenal and Saka.
Those are the thoughts of Darren Bent, lifelong Arsenal fan, the former England striker, part of the commentary team tonight here in North London. And we mentioned earlier that patience is so essential. The clock continues to tick on, of course. 35 minutes gone now, and I'm sure that Sergio Conceição would have set aside a number of marker points along the way, get through the first 10 minutes, to score quite a few early goals, get to half an hour 0-0, just continue to build up like that. And so far they've been able to get through them. A few half chances for Arsenal, but no real good clear-cut goal scoring opportunities created up to this point.
No, as you said there, Jim, yeah, half chances really getting into good areas, but as I said, maybe at times they've been a bit eager, a bit overconfident in what they're doing, and they've got to just stick to the game plan. As I said, be patient. There's a good players, opportunities will create themselves. You've got to keep going on and on and on, and you'll get these opportunities. Porto, their shape has been outstanding. There's no space anywhere, so you've just got to play quicker and try and get him behind them. But again, that's where Saka is key, because in the front line he's the only one with that real pace.
Now whatever happens tonight, the conclusion of this game, will take your calls on the Sports Bar, of course. 03717223344 will allow you the opportunity to have your say on national radio, be it good or bad for Arsenal tonight. You have a chance to react to everything else that's happened domestically and on the continent as well. I think Arsenal will feel that they're in a relatively good position, albeit that they haven't found the breakthrough. I actually think it was a warm-up game for this. The match against Brentford here on Saturday was just about perfect. A side that will approach things in a similar manner to try and set themselves up to frustrate. And listen, that is not meant in any shape or form as an insult for Brentford's game plan at the weekend, that they carried out very effectively. Please don't think that's a criticism of them at all. Far from it, quite the reverse. But Arsenal got through that. So Kai Havertz scoring 5 minutes from time. They had a few up and down moments on the way, the Gunners. Might be better for that experience, as Havertz plays it out to the figure of Leandro Trossard, the Belgian, working it through the midfield for Jorginho. And now Rice to Kivior. Kivior taking a touch, works it back. Rice now towards Saliba, but every outfield player inside Porto territory, and that has been the way of it pretty much since the first whistle.
As I said, their shape's been outstanding. They all work really hard for each other. They all get back into shape really quick. They all try for each other. They cover each other, and that's where Arsenal have to be clever, but also patient. They can't, as I said, come away from the game plan. They've got to keep trying things, keep trying to work the avenues, and keep trying to make opportunities for themselves.
Now Sergio Conceição is going to get spoken to here by the referee. A yellow card is shown for the challenge, which was Saliba. with just a little bit of wrestling going on as they try to get Galeno past him. And then Conceição, the coach, who was visibly irate at the foul and the tactics to stop play there. I thought he was going to talk himself into the book as well. He hasn't. It's a free kick which is taken by Otavio for Porto. Smack forward towards the edge of the penalty area. And clear. Declan Rice goes up for it. Loose ball breaks, bounces behind Varela. Porto mop up. And they've done well. After the first 15 minutes where Arsenal really had the majority of possession and good areas and that succession of half chances, Porto have been able to take the sting out of it. And the longer it goes on and it's 0-0, the more the nerves in the crowd could become a factor, the nerves of the players, the nerves of Mikel Arteta, a very emotional man, wears his heart on his sleeve, and he has to make sure that, be it from me to tell him what to do, that he keeps his emotions in check the longer this stays 0-0. But the last 5 minutes have been Arsenal's worst 5 minutes so far, and Porto will be able to bring the ball for Varela. He's just given it away as he played it for João Mario's overrun it and goes through to David Raya. Sorry, David.
That's right, they're well drilled. Porto are really well drilled. I mean, out of possession, they sprint back into shape, they make it really compact, really hard for Arsenal. But this is where Arsenal need to be patient, but they move the ball really quickly. And as long as the fans don't feel agitated, then the players won't either. They'll stay relaxed. There's still a long way to go. But it's just this last 5 minutes, the passing's got a bit sloppy. They've chose the wrong options at times. There's been a lack of movement, and they need to get back to what they did in the first 15 minutes.
Ødegaard, 15 yards outside the penalty area, goes to his left-hand side for Trossard. Work back in towards Ødegaard again. Good quick feed from him. He's played Trossard in. 1-0 to the Arsenal. How sweet those words. Brilliantly taken goal, driven into the bottom right-hand corner. That is Porto's first leg lead wiped out, and now it's a straight shootout with 50 minutes to go.
Jim, do you know what that is? Patience. Trossard had the opportunity to just sling it in the box any way he wanted. He didn't. He gave it to Ødegaard. He made a really intelligent run at the back end of the fullback. Ødegaard rolls a lovely ball in behind the back line, behind Pepe, and he's got a decision to make. Does he roll it across the box for Havertz to tap it in, or does he finish it almost like a Thierry Henry type finish? He chooses the finish and he just rolls it into that far corner with the inside of his right foot. Really good finish.
His 11th goal of the season, the most important that he's scored in an Arsenal shirt so far. Netted against PSV and Sevilla earlier on in this Champions League campaign. Now he's scored a goal in the knockout stages, and Arsenal lead by a goal to nil, and he's taken it so calmly. Come off Ødegaard through to him, and he appeared to have all the time in the world, firstly to survey his options and then to calmly drive the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. But more worryingly for Arsenal, the referee hasn't allowed the restart of the game as yet. He does now, so the goal stands 1-0 to Arsenal, 1-1 on aggregate.
Patience, Jim. That is the word. That's going to be the key word tonight, is patience. He got the ball out wide, Leandro Trossard. I thought he was going to swing it in. He says nope. He gives it to Ødegaard. Ødegaard, the pass between the fullback and Pepe is outstanding. Right way to pass, and then it's about Trossard. Can he pick the right option? Does he pass it, as I said, to Havertz, who had a tap in? He doesn't. He just rolls it with his side foot into that far corner.
Well, this season Arsenal have scored first in 29 games in all competitions, and they've won 24 of them. Porto try and get forward on the front foot right from the restart, and Chico Conceição fires wide of the near post. 24 wins, 3 draws, 2 defeats from 1-0 up this season. They lost at Fulham, but that's the only league defeat they've had when they have scored first. That's 13 without reply at home in Europe this season. If they can make it 14 without reply by the end of the night, they are through to that elusive quarter-final. You're not missing anything, because Porto got a player down on halfway. There's just a little collision, but no foul, and play's going to restart here with a goal kick that David Raya will take. We're 2 minutes away from half-time. It's going to be a fair bit of time to be added on. The VAR had a look at the goal. There have been a couple of injuries. It could easily be 3 minutes to be played. Well, we're in, you would imagine, the last 5 minutes of playing time at the end of this first half, and now it is Arsenal who are just running the clock down. Rice spotting the ball down. Shall I take this short? Oh no, I'm not sure. I'll tell you what, I'll move it to the other side of the 6-yard box before I drive it forward. Listen, one in Rome and all of that. Here's David Raya, just cleaning out the grass from the studs of his right boot. Now drives it forward. And Havertz has gone up for it and led with his arm. He did that the other day in the Brentford game. It was a little bit naughty. He's done it again there, leaning into Nico Gonzalez. There's no yellow card for him, but he caught it. That was a poor challenge.
Do you know what, the only thing I'd say about that, Jim, and you're right, it was poor. And as the ball was in flight, I thought, oh, I know what's coming here. But to jump, he's got to use his arms to kind of elevate, but he did look like he led with his elbow. But I think at times people go a little bit overboard with that type of challenge because he's got his arms firmly fixed on the ball. To jump with elevation, his arms are going to be up there. And as I said, there's nothing wrong with a Porto defender because he's got up and he's perfectly fine.
Yeah, any contact, actually, having seen the replay, any contact was minimal. But certainly Havertz does jump like that in an awkward fashion, more so than some others. Remember, I mean, going back to your days, Niall Quinn would always get free kicks given against him in those situations just because of the way he jumped. There's no malice in it, but just the way that he used his arms for leverage, he was always getting free kicks given against him. So Arsenal leading 1-0, just about to go into first half stoppage time, but Porto have got a long throw. And it comes in from Galeno inside the area, helped on by Pepe. They try and flick it on for Pepe Aquino. Trossard, the goal scorer, whacks it clear. And just 1 minute of first half stoppage time. And that, if anything, indicates that all of the time wasting that Porto have indulged in this game is valid, because the time isn't going to be added on for it. So, although it might actually play into Arsenal's hands now because they have the lead, you never know. If Porto get an equaliser, I think that they will now think that they've got the measure of the fourth official, because not much time is going to be added on. I'm astounded that that's only a minute.
Me too. I mean, the time wasting that's going on, the players going down, they've got another player going down as well. 1 minute is poor. I don't know where they've got that from, because every time the ball goes out, it's 30 seconds to come in, 25 seconds to take a goal kick. There's so much time that should be added, but Arsenal, now they've got that goal, they can relax a little bit now, keep playing the same way, because it's now Porto. What do they do? Do they change what they do? Do they just stand shape? Do they play for penalties? What do they do now?
Well, let me ask you, what do they do now? My gut feeling is that they won't change an awful lot just yet.
I expect them to get deeper and deeper in terms of their defending, and that will play into Arsenal's hands, because they've got a strong bench, Arsenal. When you look at what they've got on there, they've got players that can change the whole dynamics of the game. And Porto, it's brave, because if Arsenal go and get 2-1 up, I don't think Porto can come back from that. They've looked a little bit dangerous. I mean, Rare's made one save, but other than that, it's all been defensively, and trying to hit Arsenal on the counter-attack.
Pepe Aquino's the player that is down, the Brazilian number 10, and he's still receiving treatment inside the penalty area. So the one additional minute that has been prescribed is only going to start when play resumes. Arsenal leading by a goal to nil. On a ground where they've won all but 4 of their matches so far this season. Pepe Aquino will just make his way off now in his white boots. Doesn't look at all comfortable, actually, as he's leaving the field. There's no suggestion that he has been milking that at all. He just comes off towards this near touchline. Feeling the small of his back, he's lifting his legs, his knees up pretty high, as if to try and stretch things out. So play will now resume, and does so with a Porto throw on halfway. Wendell going up for it, and now it's Kai Havertz that's gone down, and he's been caught. And he moves his left hand as he lies on the ground on his side, moves the left hand to the small of his back. Evan Nielsen comes across, not to offer a hand of apology necessarily, but just to offer a hand of sympathy to Havertz, and Havertz remains down. I'll tell you something, a minute of stoppage time at the end of this first half, which might last till 10 o'clock.
Yeah, honestly, some of the players going down. Havertz, a little bit of a naughty one there. It's almost like they've left one on him, but I mean, he's done okay first half, Havertz. He's been quite strong. He's tried to hold the ball up. He's tried to get involved in the game. So what I like, though, is he's keeping Arsenal, they're keeping the back line high. So that's allowing the space for Odegaard to pick up the ball, Saka to come in off the line, even Declan Rice to go in there and play as well. So as long as that continues, then I think Arsenal's second half will create more and more opportunities.
Swindon leading Accrington 1-0 in League 2, and in the 4th minute of the one additional free kick taken by Arsenal is cleared by Porto and the half-time whistle goes. So that 1 minute of added time that was played, we actually only saw 15 seconds of action. The bottom line is that it's so far so good for Arsenal. A must-win night, and they lead at the break. Leandro Trossard with a goal. Arsenal 1, Porto 0, 1-1 on aggregate.
Well, still work for Arsenal to do, but they've got half the job done, and some of their players sprinted down the tunnel, desperate to get in and get the words from Mikel Arteta. Interestingly, just before the injury time started, there was an incident in the Arsenal box where Porto felt one Porto player was pushed, I think it was by Saliba, into another Porto player. Declan Rice squared up to Otavio. Barella pushed Rice away, got a bit feisty. I think that might have been what the Kai Havertz incident was all about. I don't think there was anything wrong with Kai Havertz at all. I think his reputation from Saturday might follow him here. I don't think there was anything in that at all, but got a bit feisty. I wonder if that's going to continue into the second half as well, coming up live on Talksport. Let's talk about the goal though, Darren Bent, because Trossard fired it in, but João Mario doesn't even realise he's made the run in behind him at all. He just stands there. He's taken by surprise. So all of a sudden Trossard's got a free shot at goal. Pepe is 41. Watching his aging, aching body creaking over there. He's still trying to get there now. It was actually painful to watch. He just couldn't get there. And when he did get there, side on, it was easy for Trossard to fire into the net. It's a terrific goal. It's all about the movement and the timing of the passing from Arsenal. But that's classic Arsenal, that goal.
Do you know what it is as well? Is Arsenal, they worked and they probed that first half, and they got getting little joy, to be fair. There was no clear-cut chances. But I've been there as a player aide. When you're concentrating so much defensive work, sometimes you just switch off and you can't help it. And as you said there, João Mario, he thinks he's done his job. Leandro Trossard's passed it back to Odegaard, and he's gone, he probably thought, I'll get a breather now. The moment he's done that, Trossard's realised where the space is, running behind him, and by then it's too late. But then, that's where the hard start. Do you pass it across the box and let someone tap it in, or do you finish it off? And what you do, Thierry Henry's down there, he would have been proud of that finish, that inside of the right foot, kind of bending it outside the far post and letting it come back in. Really, really good finish from Trossard.
I've got to say as well, Porto haven't been as defensive as I thought they would be. They're very organised when they haven't got the ball, really organised. But actually they've created some openings for themselves. Nothing really clear cut, but it's not as if they're not a threat at all.
No, they have created one or two kind of half chances, and I think Raya made a really good stop as well. And that's where Arsenal need to be aware. We know they had to score a goal, and this might just settle them down a little bit, because I still think Arsenal at times have almost lost possession a little bit. And you think, no, just take him, like, relax, control possession, an opportunity will create itself. But there are times they've let Porto kind of win it back quite high up. There was an incident where Saliba, usually bring it down on his chest, go back to the goalkeeper and then start again. He heads it into no man's land and they get a shot at the end of it. So I think these little kind of incidents, Arsenal need to kind of knock that out of their system. But getting that goal just before half time is massive.
That was so un-Saliba-like, wasn't it? Well, was that his brother? That was unbelievable.
Do you know what it is? I think nights like this in the Champions League, where Arsenal are not used to playing in the Champions League under this type of pressure, it sometimes make you have strange decisions, make you do strange things. But listen, he's recovered it. They weren't punished from it, but I'm sure second half it'll be better.
One thing from the first half, I don't know if you noticed, but Declan Rice on the ball, he's so calm on the ball, nothing phases him whatsoever. He's just so instrumental to everything Arsenal do. It's so clear tonight that he is the main man. I'm so impressed with him. And you can see, I know it was the Europa Conference League last season, but they were playing knockout two-legged games. He understands the format of it. He understands the pressure of it, because that pressure in that for West Ham last season is similar to what this is for Arsenal this season. Obviously, you're stepping it up levels and levels, I get that, but he understands that mentality needed to get through these ties. This signing is making Arsenal. He's making a new Arsenal. Declan Rice right at the heart of it. As we said before, he's got to be Player of the Year.
Listen, he's up there, and as you said there, last season I thought he was a level above in the Europa Conference League, and that's no disrespect to that competition, but for me, he was head and shoulders above that. He's come to Arsenal now, and it's almost like this is his first taste of Champions League football, and he's almost saying to people, I'll do it. Look at me. Look at the performances I'm going to put in. And it looks like he's been playing Champions League football for years and years and years. But I've been so impressed with him. Last season, if you'd have asked him who's been better, Partey was playing unbelievable last season. I would have said, Partey's better than Declan Rice. Look at what Declan Rice could achieve at this Arsenal and how much better they are with him in it. I mean, there's no telling where he can go. And I'm with you, Wade. When you're looking at players in a season, I know a lot of people will say, well done, they paid £100 million for him. What do you expect? he's been better than I thought. Defensively, transitioning into that number 8, his defensive responsibilities, he's been outstanding.
Yeah, listen, he's I don't often give players 10 out of 10. He's on the way to a 10 out of 10 tonight. Declan Rice, I think he's been absolutely brilliant. Arsenal lead 1-0 on the night. It's 1 apiece on aggregate, so still work for the Gooners to do. Let's find out about the other Champions League round of 16 second leg tonight. Talksport's Jeff Peters.
Well, Barcelona lead Napoli 2-1 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. A couple of early goals had the Spaniards in the driving seat. First, Rafinha's pullback from the left was dummied by Lewandowski and met by Fermin Lopez. The 20-year-old midfielder calmly slotted in the opener. Soon after, a quick counter. Rafinha's rasping shot came back off the post, and Joao Cancelo, on loan from Man City, decisively thumped in the rebound. Napoli cut the deficit on the half hour. Politano down the right picked out Amir Rahmani. The defender's first time finish was impressive, his first European goal. They almost levelled through skipper Gio Di Lorenzo. His header wonderfully tipped over at full stretch by Ter Stegen. Fantastic game. Napoli still in this. Barcelona 2-1 up on the night and 3-2 on aggregate.
Keep you in touch with that on Talksport as Barnsley go 2-1 up at Carlisle. They've come from behind. Barnsley, who were beaten at home 5-1 by Lincoln at the weekend. John McCarthy has got the goal. Carlisle 1, Barnsley 2. Derby Reading is live on Talksport 2 right now. Second half is underway. That's goalless as Aldershot go 3-1 up on Ebbsfleet in the National League as well. But it's Arsenal, Porto, Champions League on Talksport, supported by TNT Sports. And don't forget, you can watch tonight's game and all the Champions League games live only on TNT Sports.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Hey, Hotels.com here. Struggling to keep up with your toddler? We know a hotel that'll keep them entertained. Book family-friendly hotels with pools in the Hotels.com app. Find your perfect somewhere.
Meet Darren. Darren never used to like the motorway. Then one day, he discovered a better way to drive. Now Darren never hogs the middle lane and always keeps at least 2 seconds from the vehicle in front, reducing congestion, collisions and transforming his journey. Take it away, Darren.
Say it again! What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man!
Little changes change everything. National Highways.
Feel the new Epic on 3. Trade in and save £304 on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra powered by Galaxy AI. Plus, get 12 months of Paramount Plus, 28 days of roaming and 300 gig of data included from £54 a month with £60 up front. Annual April airtime price rise of CPI plus 3.9% applies. Search 3 or head in store today.
Credit by 3. Terms apply. See 3.co.uk.
And if you take good care of me, I'll stay as hot as the day we first met.
Feel the love with a high-efficiency heat pump from My Dear. Now available with a government grant of £7,500 and 10-year warranty. Terms and property suitability apply. Visit mydearuk.co.uk.
Make yourself at home, My Dear.
Fetch me a wet flannel, because Cheltenham's here, and at TalkSport Bet we've all got festival fever. And to celebrate, TalkSport Bet has got a stable full of fantastic festival offers, including daily boosts on selected races, top tips from the finest TalkSport talent. Plus, with no horsing around, you'll get your money back if your horse doesn't start. And as always, our best odds are guaranteed. TalkSportBet.com. Ballygood broadcaster, bring it on bookie. 18 plus, single bets refunded up to £100. Terms and conditions apply. BeGambleAware.org.
Here in the UK, we sell amazing products and services the whole world wants.
At Uello in Cardiff, we're helping people order, pay and eat faster in 7 countries.
Whilst at Yequan in Sheffield, our ice cream is served in over 500 restaurants worldwide.
So whether you're new to exporting or experienced, explore global growth for your business with free support from the UK government. Access information, training, events and expert advice to help you find new customers overseas. Visit great.gov.uk to get started.
Nothing beats Cheltenham. It's the top jockeys, the top horses.
He's coming home strong at the hill.
The roar for that first race, unbelievable.
And they're off.
Betfred this Cheltenham and get an offer on every race.
4 days of world-class racing.
I love the festival. It's the best jumps racing on the planet.
Love Cheltenham.
Betfred.
Minimum of 1 offer per race at Cheltenham, valid between 12th and 15th of March 2024. T&Cs apply. Available in store and online. Offers may vary. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
The big gift giveaway is now on at Arnold Clark. Buy any car and enjoy a free gift.
Choose from a £50 M&S gift card, 12 free car washes, or one of 6 fantastic experiences. From an overnight stay to a supercar track experience, there's an option for everyone. Don't miss the big gift giveaway. It's now on at every Arnold Clark across the UK. See arnoldclark.com.
Sometimes running a business can feel like swimming upstream. In Siberia.
Welcome.
With a bear clinging onto your leg. But Xero Online Accounting Software can help you manage the ins and outs of your finances in real time, so you can keep them running smoothly. Soon it will feel more like you're going down a water slide.
Your turn.
In a rubber ring. Or being serenaded by a string quartet. Search Xero with an X, because healthy business is beautiful business.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Oh, what a finish!
The Champions League, live on Talksport.
Alan Brazil, Alan McCoy and Dino, live from the Cheltenham Racecourse.
But Slade Steele's coming back. What a tussle! Rachel Blackmore proving once again. Give her the big stage. Give her the big win. Now Gaelic Warrior has swept to the front. Big roar, big cheer coming through. Now the Willie Mullins juggernaut is up and running, it would seem.
Well. Now that is an incredible comeback.
But I have to say, it's the smartest I've seen you look.
There's a lot of borrowed clothes. You're looking well.
They're all from his dead relatives.
Well, he's got his own.
Had a lovely time at Cheltenham so far, I know that. Ray, looking forward to the Arsenal game tonight.
Absolutely, massive game. Hopefully I can get a few winners, get back to where I'm staying, sit by the fire and watch Arsenal beat Porto.
State Man is holding off all comers. It was workmanlike in the end.
A second festival victory. Lossiemouth and Paul Townend have won the Close Brothers.
Channel Festival continues tomorrow. Talksport Breakfast is there from 6 a.m. Alan Brazil with Dean Saunders and Ray Parlour, and joining the programme will be the Arsenal fan and top jockey, champion jockey AP McCoy, Tom Lockyer. Of course, it's Bournemouth Luton tomorrow night. We've got that live on Talksport, and Tom Lockyer is a guest on Breakfast tomorrow. Ed Chamberlain, Racing God, is going to be on the show as well, all from 6, and the races will be on as well, the Talksport Network. H&J from 1 o'clock live from Cheltenham as well. Here at the Emirates on Talksport, Arsenal are 1-up. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
So Arsenal 9-1 on to win this leg over 90 minutes. The draw is 7-1. Porto are 33-1. Arsenal to qualify tonight, 9-2 on. Porto are 3-1. Kai Havertz to score any time was 11-4. That's been price boosted to 3-1. And that's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus BeGambleAware.org.
Well, Derby County have one of the biggest budgets in League One. They're only going to sign Dwight Gale. They scored 3 and 3. He's just broken the deadlock at Pride Park live on Talksport 2. Derby 1, Reading 0. What's going on in the only game in the Championship tonight at St Andrews? Talksport, Dave Rowe.
It's still Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1:55 on the clock. Birmingham made a double change at half-time. They certainly had to. They were so poor in that first 45. Bacuna and Hall have come on. It certainly got them further up the pitch without creating any clear-cut chances. A couple of set pieces not really taken full advantage of. Pritchard down the left, and also a cross by Bacuna that went too long. Middlesbrough looking lively on the break. They scored a wonderful goal through Riley McGree to put them in front. If they get their third straight victory here, then they'll be only 5 points off the playoffs with still 9 games to go. Still Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Let's give you the latest scores then. Champions League round of 16, second leg is half-time, and Arsenal lead 1-0. 1-all aggregate, second half to come here on Talksport. Barcelona 2, Napoli 1 on the night. Barcelona 3-2 up on aggregate. Middlesbrough 1 up in the Championship of Birmingham, as you just heard. In League One, it is Carlisle United 1, Barnsley 2, Derby 1, Reading 0, Fleetwood 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Orient goalless with Port Vale, Lincoln now 3 up on Cambridge, Joe Taylor with a third, Northampton 0, Blackpool 1, Blackpool taking the lead through the former Everton centre-half Matt Pennington. The leaders Pompey 1 up against Burton Albion, they're struggling. Shrewsbury 0, Exeter 3, Shrewsbury down to 10 men early in the game, 6 minutes, Jordan Shipley sent off. Wickham 1, Wigan 0, an own goal from the Wigan keeper Sam Tickle, and Bolton in an 8 o'clock kick-off lead Oxford by 2-0. Oxford falling away from the playoff places. Bolton fighting out with Derby and Peterborough possibly for automatic promotion with Portsmouth. League 2, Wimbledon are 1 up on Gillingham, who are down to 10 men. Bradford 0, Forest Green 1. Bradford 0, Forest Green 1. Colchester, Doncaster called off. Crawley 0, Notts County 1. Crewe 0, Sutton 0. Sutton bottom of the table. Grimsby lead MK Dons by 1-0. Newport 3, Morecambe 1. Swindon 1, Accrington 1. Tranmere 2-1 up on Mansfield now. It's Walsall 1, Barrow 1. Reading have just equalised at Derby, 1 apiece. That's live on Talksport 2. If you want to listen to that, then just download the Talksport app for free. You can swipe between the 2 stations or just tell your smart speaker to play Talksport 2. Back to the League 2 scores. Wrexham goalless with Harrogate. National League very quickly. Aldershot 3-1 up on Ebbsfleet. Altrincham 3, York City 0. York in all sorts of trouble under their new manager Adam Hinshelwood. Chesterfield the leaders, 2 up on bottom of the table Oxford City. Gateshead 0, Dagenham 0. Kidderminster 0, FC Fylde 1. Phil Brown's Kiddie in trouble as well. Rochdale 1, Woking 1. Woking had taken the lead in that. Solihull Moors 0, Borehamwood 0. And Southend United 1. Dorking Wanderers 0 is the latest score. And 1 game in the Scottish Championship. Raith Rovers in second place lead away to Partick Thistle by 1-0. A reminder that game, Derby 1, Reading 1. A couple of quick goals there. Start of the second half. That's live on Talksport 2 right now. Another reminder that we have Premier League commentary tomorrow night exclusively on Talksport as Bournemouth take on Luton. We'll be at the Vitality for that. Join us from 7 o'clock to kick off. Well, Arsenal are out here in a huddle in the half of the pitch away to our right. We are well over 15 minutes in to 15 minutes of half time, and Porto haven't even emerged. Do you want to go and find them, Darren Bent?
Honestly, trying all the tricks, didn't they?
Do you know what, just a quick one on the time they took. I timed pretty much every single goal kick and throw in. Some of them weren't that long, actually. There was a goal kick that took 7 seconds before the Arsenal fans were booing. There was a throw in that took 3 seconds before they were booing. Sometimes the keeper had the ball at his feet in open play and they were still booing. So I think there's a little bit of gamesmanship from the crowd, either that or they don't know the rules. But I don't think it's been as bad as the booing suggests. But Arsenal still have work to do. They're 1-0 up on the night. It's 1-1 on aggregate. Second half is about to get underway because Porto have graced us with their presence. It's live on Talksport tonight with the former England striker Darren Bent alongside your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
So as things stand right now, we go to extra time, but there are 45 minutes for either side to break this aggregate tie that we have at the moment. 1-0 to Porto in the first leg, 1-0 Arsenal lead at half-time in the second. The Gunners with Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Kivior, Erdegaard, Jorginho and Rice, Saka, Havertz and Trossard. We're back on the way. Porto, Diogo Costa in goal, Gianmario, Pepe, Otavio and Wendell, Gonzalez and Varela, Conceição, Pepe, Aquino and Galeno, and Evan Nilsson up front. Arsenal Keegan from right to left, defending the clock end of the Emirates in this second half. Porto have a throw, which will be taken over on the far touchline. Wendell just drops it short into the feet of Pepe Aquino. No changes in personnel made by either manager at half-time. And Evan Nilsson will flick the ball forward now for Galeno. Galeno driving in inside the penalty area. He's travelled a long way. And it's picked up by Evan Nilsson. Gabriel just stood and watched. He didn't know for a moment whether to stick or twist, and that just moments hesitation just allowed Porto to pick possession up. They've still got it. Arsenal have got their shake back behind the ball, and they've got 7 inside the penalty area to defend the cross that comes in. Rice can head it away, and Saka will help it further clear. But early signs of a little bit more intent from Porto at the beginning of the second half, Darren.
I thought he was offside for about 2 yards. So I think if they had scored from that, they probably would have checked it and it would have been disallowed. But you're right, there's certainly a lot more intent, running forward with a bit more energy. And a goal will do that for you. They probably were comfortable that first half before Arsenal scored. We're probably thinking, right, get to half-time, 0-0. Second half will come out and maybe play the same way. That goal for Arsenal just maybe upped it a little bit for Porto.
Well, the Portuguese side had possession over on the far touchline. They're 4 points off the top of their league. Dropped 20 points this season. They only dropped 17 in the whole of last season. It's not a vintage Porto team by any stretch of the imagination. Probably not in quite such good form as Sporting were when they came here and knocked Arsenal out of Europe last season. Porto able to bring the ball out from the back with Otavio towards halfway. That said, they did beat Benfica 5-0 the other week, which is a decent result between these two legs. Porto got possession and then have given a free kick away, which will be taken over on the Arsenal right-hand side. A couple of minutes gone into the second half. Leandro Trossard separating the two teams on the night, his 11th goal of the season on 41 minutes. That's the difference between the two teams and the goal that has tied things up on aggregate. I'll talk to you about the two quick goals in that Derby Reading game live on Talksport 2. There's been a red card now as well. Andy Yiadom of Reading sent off. It's 1-1 in that game. All the action at the early stage of the second half is live for you right now over on Talksport 2. If you've got the Talksport app, you can easily swipe left, swipe right, and keep up to date with both games. Conceição inside the penalty area. An overhead kick is coming to a back garden near you sometime soon, because that has flown over the bar. Arsenal taking the goal kick quickly. It was Evan Nilsson that tried his luck, and he's still down lying on his back inside the penalty area, and now the referee has stopped play. There's no need for him to stop play under those circumstances, because he went down and just took an awkward fall. He didn't get a bang to the head. I think he's claiming that he did, but he certainly didn't appear to, and I will stand to be corrected and apologise if I'm wrong, but whether he came down and landed maybe on the back of his head, he came down on his back and his head went down into the turf, but he just lay on his back to stop Arsenal taking a quick goal kick.
I'm not surprised after that ridiculous attempt at an overhead kick. I mean, it just wasn't on. And as you said there, I'm sure it pretty much went over the stand. I mean, he's up now and he's perfectly fine, but I think there's probably a little bit more of embarrassment rather than an actual injury. But to be fair to Porto, this first 3 minutes of the second half, they've shown more intent in that 3 minutes than they've probably shown in the first leg and the first half of this game. They're at it, the front foot, they're trying to use the width, they're getting crosses in, they're trying to create 1v1s with Kivior and Ben White on the other side. So if this continues, then we're up for a game.
Play restarts, an uncontested drop ball put at the feet of Gabriel by the referee, and Evan Nilsson has received his treatment. He's going to be okay, able to come back on. Here's Ben White. It goes back for Gabriel. Gabriel's 10 yards inside his own half and brings it to the edge of the centre circle. Falling to the feet of White. Outside him is Saliba. Back for Gabriel again, and now he hits a long-ranging left-footed ball that's way too long for Trossard, and goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken away to our left-hand side by Diogo Costa.
Right idea. Trossard, he kept his width there, and the space was there. Just bad execution again from Gabriel. But I think if they're going to cause Porto problems, certainly in the second half, they're going to have to use the width. There's no space in the middle of the pitch whatsoever. There's too many bodies in there. But you start getting Trossard 1v1, Saka 1v1, you'll get more opportunities.
Porto look long, and it's headed away easily by Ben White on halfway. Trossard knocking it down, Pepe bringing it away, and then the loose ball is worked out towards the Porto right-hand side, and João Mario can bring it forward, and he's got Conceição making a run for him on the overlap. Kivior watching him every step of the way, did well as Conceição came inside, and then the ball hit him, played into him off Kivior, goes out of play for a goal kick, which David Raya is in a hurry to take. Gets it for Jorginho. And Jorginho will bring it forward for Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Arsenal, Kivior, really good one-to-one defending there, really, really well. It was 1v1, they had no help with him, showed him down the line, managed to get the goal kick. But he's going to be important in the second half because they are creating these 1v1s, Porto. They are showing more intent, and I think Arsenal defensively will be more tested this second half.
Pepe gets the ball back for his goalkeeper. Now Diogo Costa will play it out from the back. And now it's worked down the Porto left-hand side. A flick on from Galeno. Evan Nilsson will chase it, but Saliba has got his number so far tonight. Now Raya's got the ball at his feet, and he will be able to play it out from the back. Portsmouth 2, Burton Albion 0 in League One. Cassini Yengi's got both of those as Arsenal give possession away. And then get it back again. Kivior chasing and doing very well to deal with Conceição, and he'll just play it forward into the feet of Rice, who knew that he had a Porto player behind him, was able to lay it off and then turned and sprinted forward. Porto clear out as far as Pepe. Pepe put under pressure. Ødegaard almost able to dispossess him, and then Rice gets a throw. Pepe stayed down, a feigning injury, I think even Rice thought that might be a free kick, but the referee didn't, and play goes on with a quickly taken throw. Trossard to Ødegaard, taking it down towards the corner flag. Ødegaard still got it. Hasn't got too much room for manoeuvre. They've doubled up on him, the Porto defenders, and they can clear. It's 1-0 to Arsenal, 1-1 on aggregate.
Really good referee in there, because Pepe tried to buy the foul. Thought they'd caught him 2v1. They don't manage to do that, and he gets himself out of it.
And now the ball played forward too long for Trossard. Goes out of play. So all the gist of Mikel Arteta's half-time team talk have been, Darren, do you think? Just more of the same? Because they had that really flat 10 or 12 minute spell in the first half. Played their way out of that. They got the goal. But they would have known at some stage Porto were going to be a little bit more adventurous, which, as you've mentioned on a couple of occasions, might play into Arsenal hands. I
think you'd have just said, look, more of the same. Be patient, pick your passes. The opportunities will create themselves, because now they've got that goal, Porto have to come out, and as I've said, they've shown more intensity this second half than they did in the entirety of the first leg and the first half. So if they stay patient, there will be opportunities, but keep playing the same way. Don't overcomplicate it. Get the ball to Trossard, get the ball to Saka, and they will create something.
It's the former England international Darren Bent with us here on Talksport tomorrow night. It is the rescheduled Bournemouth-Luton game. Tom Lockyer, who continues to be in our thoughts, is amongst the guests on breakfast tomorrow. A very special occasion for him, that, as he goes back to Bournemouth to pay thanks to those who attended to him in his hour of need. The game live for you on Talksport tomorrow, live on Talksport 2, more Champions League action, Dortmund against PSV. Arsenal win possession back on halfway after a challenge in the midfield. 2 Arsenal players on the deck for the moment. Now the referee has now stopped play. Trossard in front of us is the player that is hurt. He's back on his knees and is going to be able to get to his feet without the need for any treatment. Jorginho is the other player that went down. It's got a little bit of a feisty element. Some of that's a hangover from the first leg, but it's niggly now. It's got an edge to it.
The only thing about it being niggly is that it plays into Porto's hands, because that's exactly how they want it to be. They don't want Arsenal playing their free-flowing football, because we've seen already, certainly in the Premier League, when these guys get the ball moving quickly, they score goals, they create opportunities. So they want the game to be bitty and a little bit inconsistent.
Jorginho to White to Saka on the corner of the penalty area. Left-footed ball helped inside the box, deep towards the far post, headed down, and it's volleyed away on the edge of the penalty area by the Porto backlines. Conceição back defending almost as an auxiliary right back for a moment. Arsenal then give it away as they work it forward quickly. Galeno trying to bring it forward under pressure from Ødegaard. The referee has said it's a free kick to Arsenal. The Porto players still trying to force the referee's hand on occasion, but Clement Turpin not having any of it. Rice to Jorginho, played forward towards Havertz. Havertz has got Ødegaard making a run. It's ricocheted off Havertz. It's very well defended by Barella, and it's come back into the penalty area where the goalkeeper Diogo Costa will pick it up. With 10 minutes into the second half, no chance worthy of the name at either end in this second period so far. It's still 1-0 to Arsenal.
I like the way the referee started the second half, because he's not allowed anyone to get away with anything. We've seen Porto try and stay down. We've seen a few little things from the referee. He's not played on at all, so he started the second half as well, really well.
Arsenal work it forward. Well defended by João Mario, just staying firm, stopping Trossard turning. Has gone out of play for an Arsenal throw. Trossard will leave that for Kivior. He's going to come forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Hurls it inside the box, well read by Trossard. Got there ahead of João Mario. Forced to come back outside the penalty area. There would have been a Porto touch, so he lets it run, and it's out for the first quarter of the second half.
Leandro Trossard again getting into a really good area, using his body to manipulate the ball and winning inside a corner. We know how dangerous Arsenal are from set plays, so I expect them to have something else up their sleeve.
Another goal back for Morecambe in League 2 at Newport's 3-2 there. This Arsenal corner will be taken by Declan Rice on the left flank. 11 minutes into the second period here on Talksport. Saka waits on the edge of the penalty area. Ødegaard is there as well. Porto have got everybody back inside their own box. Rice raises his left arm above his head, right-footed into the near post with real whip and venom, and it's headed away. Comes back out to him again. Now Ødegaard, play forward towards Rice. Rice on the corner of the penalty area, swung inside the penalty area and headed away. It comes out towards Ødegaard. Ødegaard to Saliba. Saliba to Saka. Saka turning around the corner. Havertz getting to the byline. Tries to check it back. On the right-footed volley is Declan Rice. The keeper would have saved it. Pepe right in front of him bundles it clear anyway.
Really hard finish from Declan Rice. It travelled a long way as well. It was bobbling, it was bouncing. He couldn't quite get a clean contact on it, but what you hope for there in that situation is hit the target. It maybe take a little ricochet and go through maybe the keeper's legs or something, but again, really well worked from Arsenal.
Derby have retaken the lead through a Conor Hourihane penalty in that game against Reading, live on Talksport 2. Arsenal get another corner, and Arteta turned and, as if he was conducting the choir of the crowd, waved his right arms, just trying to exhort them into a little bit of extra noise and volume. So Rice to take this latest Arsenal corner, their 5th of the game without reply. Ødegaard stands again on the edge of the box. There's a very congested far post area. Arsenal's players will make moves in from that area in towards the near post, looking for the flick. It's an in-swinging delivery. Keeper very awkwardly punches it clear, and then Evan Nielsen back defending volleys it away. That's the best corner of the night. That was a great delivery.
Do you know what's horrible about that corner, Jim? Is when you're defending it and you're in a zonal marking and all the big guys at the back post from Arsenal, you're so worried about someone flying across the front of you or someone hitting you from the back that you almost can't relax, you can't focus. You're watching the ball but just thinking, here comes one of the big guys, Gabriel, Saliba, obviously Declan Rice is taking the corners, these guys coming over the top of your Havertz, and it's a really well worked corner.
Another goal for Morecambe at Newport. They've equalised now, 2 in a couple of minutes. It's 3-3. In comes the throw in towards the near post. Ødegaard trying to take it on. And Porto on the turn can get it away. This is a really good spell of pressure as far as Arsenal are concerned.
They've penned them in. They can't get out in the minute. Porto. They get wild clearances, wild slashes. They can't get enough pick purchase on it, no distance. And it's going up for a throw on, and the ball's coming back into the box again.
Gabriel, left-footed. Clipped out towards the right-hand side. Ben White, who provided a couple of great deliveries for the Arsenal goals at the weekend against Brentford. And he's won a throw here. Saka making his way inside the penalty area. But White didn't take the quick one. It's just allowed everybody to gather their thoughts. And he still stands with the ball in his hands, above his head. Still he hasn't thrown. It does so now into the feet of Jorginho. Back out towards White. Arsenal try and take it on with Jorginho down towards the corner flag, and ultimately when it goes back out of play, it's another throw. And Sergio Conceição is cutting quite an animated and nervous figure, the Porto coach, as he stands double teapot, hands on hips on the edge of his technical area in his dark black jumper. Ball thrown inside the box, comes down towards Saka, but the flag is up over on the far side. So Conceição is there in his thin woolen jumper. Mikel Arteta's got his big thick coat on. One of them's wrong.
Do you know what? I don't think it's that cold. Out here it's actually quite nice. So on this a rare occasion, I'll say Arteta's got it wrong.
Yeah, different climactic zones within the space of about 20 yards. You're listening to Arsenal against Porto in the Champions League on Talksport. And it's supported by TNT Sports. Don't forget, you can watch tonight's game and all of the Champions League games live only on TNT Sports. We've played an hour, but the most significant moment of the night still lies ahead of us. It's 1-0 to Arsenal, 1-1 on aggregate. And as things stand right now, it's extra time and penalties on the agenda. A long way to go. Away goals don't count, so this ends up 2-1 to Arsenal after 90 minutes, whereas back in the day that would have meant Porto would progress. That's not the state of it these days. Arsenal to Gabriel. Jorginho back for Gabriel again on the edge of the penalty area. Just had to scoop it into a strike quite quickly under pressure from Evan Nielsen. The ball then played for by Kivior, but hit and hope really, and mopped up at the back by Pepe. Porto win it back, play it forward. Evan Nielsen, Pepe Aquino, clever touch from him. Evan Nielsen with a good 1-2, João Mario. That was really clever. Good play by Evan Nielsen, who's come into this game having scored 4 goals in the 5 games in the group, and he's got 10 in his last 12 games in all competitions. He's had a really good season, 21 in 32 games. but hasn't really had a chance worthy of the name tonight. João Mario in possession, but inside his own half. Has he been caught or caught in possession? It's the former. Havertz has fouled him, and it's a free kick, really well taken, intelligently and quickly and accurately by Pepe, and then played for by Pepe Aquino, and Kivior came across, and Galeno went down, and the ball squirted down towards the corner flag, and Galeno was down in a little bit of pain on the right-hand side of the box, and the referee, who did really well to keep up with play, has given the free kick Porto's way. And he's put the spray down a yard. He's put it down well away from where Galeno rolled to, but it's a yard outside the penalty area, almost level with the right-hand side of the box. This is a really good angle for Conceição or any other left-footed player.
Yeah, well, do you know what? Really good movement from Galeno as well there. He went behind the defender and then darted straight back in front of him and got himself there, showed really, really good pace. And as you said, almost Kivior had to make the foul, to be fair, because he was heading into the penalty area. He would have got onto the ball, but now this is a really dangerous free kick now for Arsenal to defend.
Yeah, definitely a foul. And the three-man wall will protect the near post area. David Raya is happy that that wall is in the right place. He is out a couple of yards off the line and is just shifting his foot from his weight from his left foot to his right, bobbing up and down nervously. Conceição strikes it, and it's way over the bar into the Porto fans, and out of play for a goal kick, and Raya immediately takes that goal kick. Free kick had barely landed in the fans by the time it had been spotted down for him. Another ball so he could take the goal kick quickly, because Porto had committed so many bodies upfield. Saka's got it now. Saka for Ødegaard, back towards Saka, couldn't get it inside the penalty area, and Porto clear. It's obviously something that the ball boys and girls have been well briefed upon, but they could not have got the ball to David Raya any more quickly there for him to restart play. That was good use of home advantage.
It was, yeah. The ball boys getting the ball to him as quickly as possible and him trying to spring that counter-attack, but I'm no free kick expert, but that technique was all wrong. He tried to power drive it from the edge of the box on the wrong side of his left foot. Really poor execution. It should have been a whip from that area of the pitch.
19 gone in the second half, and Arsenal still lead Porto by a goal to nil. Possession on halfway, given away. Conceição has got it and comes forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Ødegaard easing him down. Conceição thought he was fouled. I think he's got a point. Referee said play on, and Arsenal have got it away, and Rice will be able to bring it forward. Swindon 1, Accrington 2, Bolton 4, Oxford 0, Crawley 1, 10-man Notts County 1. Here's Trossard in towards the edge of the penalty area where the ball is volleyed away. Headed back by Kivior. Helped on by Jorginho, and then stretching. Ødegaard did really well to power a header back towards Ben White, where it's a difficult one for him to reach, let alone steer the header as emphatically and as effectively as he did. So Arsenal can bring it forward with Ødegaard. Good quick feet under duress, and ball's deflected out for an Arsenal throw.
You're now starting to see one or two Porto players starting to put their hands on their knees, starting to breathe a little bit heavier, and that's because of Arsenal. Wave after wave of attack, moving the ball really quickly, making Porto get back into shape really quickly, trying to make it compact against Arsenal. They're starting to breathe a little bit. Conceição at the minute, he's trying to get his breath.
Aren't we all? There's Jorginho, back towards Gabriel. And now play forward by Saliba. Down the right-hand touchline, 1-0 to Arsenal. 20 minutes gone in the second half. The goal came 25 minutes ago. We've got another 25 minutes to play. It's another Arsenal attack is curtailed by the officials. Saka guilty of a foul over on that far side. And it's a free kick that'll be taken inside the penalty area. While we got the break in play, let's catch up with events in our other two featured games. First of all, we'll go to the other Champions League tie. Barcelona in the box seat against Napoli. The last time we heard from Talksport's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, they still lead by 2-1 and 3-2 on aggregate. Rafinha's come close to getting a third goal for Barcelona on the night, but the goalkeeper made a really good save. It's on a knife edge. Barcelona 2-1 up on the night, 3-2 on aggregate.
Barnsley 3-1 up at Carlisle, having come from behind in League One. Birmingham needing to come from behind in the Championship. Here's Dave Rowe.
And no sign of it. Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1. The second half really devoid of goalmouth action. Sam Greenwood's free kick over the bar for Borough. Birmingham have thrown on Jukovic and Roberts. There's no real cavalry charge so far. 9 to play plus stoppage time. Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1.
That topsy-turvy game in Newport, they now lead 4-3. Pepe defending after a fashion. It's turned away. Pepe flicked into the empty net. Arsenal have the lead. Martin Ødegaard. What a big moment that is. Incriminations amongst the Porto players, and the referee has overruled it and gives a free kick to Porto. Now, the VAR will check this, but the claims were, as he was playing forward, that Pepe was fouled on the edge of the penalty area. He's tried to deal with the ball that's played back. Is he given a little push? He's tried to turn it away. He's fallen into a combination of Havertz and his goalkeeper. Havertz does make contact with Pepe. He has got his hand on the number 3 on his shirt. Ødegaard, with a really crisp finish, had to navigate traffic and flick it into space, but it's not going to stand.
No, and do you know what? It's probably the right decision as well, because if you ever look at it, Havertz has done really well. He's put Pepe under pressure. The goalkeeper's got caught in no man's land, but at the wrong time, he's grabbed the back of his shirt and almost twisted him around. And to be fair, he probably left the referee with no option there. So probably the correct decision.
And Mikel Arteta was absolutely furious, and he stood on the edge of his technical area with his arms outstretched, absolutely furious. He made the signal with his fingers of the TV box to indicate that VAR should have a look at that, and for that he's received an obligatory yellow card, which is his 5th in all competitions this season.
I think even if they'd have gone to the screen, the ref, he would have seen the pull from Havertz as well. I mean, it's a really clever finish from Ødegaard, who backed it up really well and has clipped it over, but I think in that situation there, just don't touch him, leave him, and then you never know what might happen. It might spill out, you might pull it in, but the moment you grab someone's shirt, you're always going to get the foul.
Yep, easy to see why the decision was made. Arsenal fans, the bottom line is, if that had been given at the other end as an equaliser for Porto, this place would have erupted. So I think it's the right decision. Bolton with a couple of quick goals, 5 up now at home to Oxford, having a torrid night there. Aaron Collins and Josh Sheehan, I beg your pardon, getting those goals. 5-0. Burton have one back at Portsmouth with the veteran John Brayford, and Crawley have turned it around against the 10-men and Notts County. They lead 2-1. Adeyemo adding to the goal from Claudio Lolos. Here's Ødegaard. So he's still 1-0 to Arsenal. 20 minutes to go. Saka, right-hand side of the penalty area, looking for Ben White, couldn't find him. And Varela did well to get it away for Porto on the edge of the box, and now it's played forward into space. And Conceição will drive, and it's 3 against 3. Conceição, Evan Nielsen's made an early run, got offside. Goalkeeper spills the shot. Evan Nielsen trying to get on the follow-up, couldn't. Kivior did enough, and all he did was toe poke it wide, but he was offside anyway. Free kick to Arsenal, 20 to go.
Have to be careful, Arsenal. They're a really good break from Conceição as well, and he was left with no option. He had to shoot. The movement ahead of him wasn't great. Too many straight line runs, no real angle for the pass, and he hit a shot. Keeper saved it, really good save, and then they defended the rebound really well.
And now Arsenal have twice given it away in the midfield, and Porto will be able to bring it through the centre circle. João Mario making a run down towards the right-hand touchline. Pepe Aquino's got possession. Still the 22 players that started the game on the field at the moment. Pepe Aquino playing it out to the Porto centre half of Tavio. Tavio exchanging passes with the left back Wendell, who's got it again now. Galeno making his way forward. Porto pick it up on halfway and now go back to their goalkeeper. Pepe's got it. The old warhorse, the veteran campaigner at the back for Porto. And turns it back to the edge of his penalty area again. Don't forget, as well as the live football tomorrow night, we've got more live horse racing with Rupert Bell from Cheltenham tomorrow, day 2 of the festival. The first race is at 1:30, and you can hear it live on Talksport as we bring you the first 4 races tomorrow here on the Talksport network. Hoping for a better day, personally, day 2 than day 1, which was unsuccessful with a capital U. But listen, it's Cheltenham, it always is for me. It's going to be a free kick. Good luck to you tomorrow if you're having a go. Free kick which will be taken by Varela, about 15 yards outside the box, and play back to our left-hand side. There's just a little Arsenal fan. It's obviously, it's relatively late. He was maybe 6, and he's come to the He steps just to our left-hand side, just about to leave, and he's had his photo taken, and you think, you're 6, I just hope you realise the enormity of this night. This will be a night, I don't know how many games he's been to in the past, a night that he will always look back on with fondness, particularly if it ends up when he gets home, if he hearing the score. But it's just a lovely moment for the maelstrom around us, and just that personal little private moment between mother and son, having this photo taken just moments ago, with the pitch in the background. Arsenal have won a free kick. Pepe's got a yellow card for another crunching challenge, and Rice is going to come across to take this free kick. 72 on the clock, and 1-0 Arsenal lead it.
Strange booking that, Jim, because Havertz did the exact same first half, doesn't get booked. Pepe does it almost maybe a little bit less, and he gets booked. But I do think the referee the second half has officiated the game really well. He's let play go. He's not allowed Porto to make it kind of bitty, kind of slow, and he's been really good. I've been impressed with him.
Odegaard takes the free kick, but hasn't fired it towards the edge of the area. He's worked it forward up the left-hand side. Trossard curves it inside the area. The resulting header goes wide. And out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Diogo Costa. Elsewhere, the National League South leaders Yeovil 2-1 down at home to Chippenham. Carlisle have got one back at home to Barnsley. The trail 3-2. Lincoln 5, Cambridge 0. Gary Monk inheriting a very tough situation at Cambridge, and a big defeat for them tonight. And the National League Southend 2, Dorking 0. And you're up to date with all of the goals. Remember, over on Talksport 2 right now, Derby leading Reading 2-1. Gabriel coming in off the left-hand touchline, little back heel flick. Porto try and bring it away, getting those in blue and white behind the ball. And now Pepe will take it down towards the touchline and then stop and turn it nonchalantly back towards his goalkeeper. And Diogo Costa fires it forward. But as he does so, the whistle blows as an Arsenal player down. It's Gabriel, 5 or 6 yards inside the Porto half. And I must admit, I was watching the ball there, not watching what was happening elsewhere. What happened?
No, to be fair, he was battling for the ball. He kept possession really well. There's a few naughty challenges, a few ones after the ball. I thought there was a foul, to be fair, because he's played the ball and then got clipped afterwards. But listen, Gabriel, he's defended really strong today. He's been good on the ball. And again, that set play, whenever Arsenal get a set play, he's always the danger. He always gets the first contact, makes aggressive runs. He's defended really well today. I've been more impressed with him today than Saliba, and I don't say that often.
So 1-0, 15 minutes to go. Still Barcelona leading Napoli by 2-1, 3-2 on aggregate. Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1 in the game in the Championship tonight. Play's going to restart with a drop ball deep in Porto territory. It's going to just be dropped at the feet of their goalkeeper, Diogo Costa. The longer the game goes on, the more the chances that the two goalkeepers will come firmly into the spotlight. The penalty shootout, the spectre of it threatens to raise its ugly head. Kivior's going to take a throw for Arsenal now. They're about 15 yards inside their own half. 15 minutes of normal time to go. 1-0 to Arsenal on the night. 1-1 on aggregate. Pepe steers the ball away. And it's flicked on by João Mario. Really good anticipation from Evan Nielsen. Came down towards the touchline, chased the lost course, kept the ball in and found his man. Conceição back to him. He's then been fouled. And it's a free kick to Porto. And an angry action from Conceição, who throws his right arm down across his body and looks at Trossard with his eyes out and stalks. Trossard just disdainfully tells him to go away and get on with it. It's going to be a free kick though to Porto, and although the crowd didn't like the decision again, I think that was the correct one. Taken the free kick by João Mario into the feet of Varela, and then back for Pepe again. Pepe to his goalkeeper, and we've got 14 minutes to go down.
I don't think Arsenal have tested Pepe enough. He's on a booking now as well. He's not really even run out at all, and the one opportunity that they did first half, they caused him problems, but they haven't done it enough. He hasn't been isolated enough, and that's, I think, to be fair play to Porto. But I think the longer this game goes on, he is 41 years old. He's no spring chicken anymore, and he's been a fantastic defender. But there must be an opportunity now to get him, try and isolate him and try and get at him.
Well, of all the players on the pitch, you would imagine that he's going to be one of the first who will have to make one. He's still very fit. You wouldn't be playing at this level in your 42nd year if you weren't a supreme athlete, but he will be feeling it. The longer the game ticks towards 120 minutes. Here's Erdegaard. We played 76 at the moment. Erdegaard's ball inside the penalty area. Trossard trying to take it. João Mario's going to be able to bring it away. Porto just beginning to exert in some passages of play an element of control here. Pepe Aquino getting it forward. Evan Nielsen trying to turn on the edge of the area. Saliba had his arms very close to being around him, but the referee says play on, and Arsenal get it away towards Saka, and the covering challenge has left Saka on the deck, and it's an Arsenal ball. 13 to go, 1-0.
Otavio has really impressed me tonight. I think he's defended really well. He's been strong, he's been quick. Nothing's really got by him. I mean, him and Pepe having a high five there. I think he's been really, really good, and at times he's probably bailed Pepe out of trouble, to be fair, using his pace. But I thought that was a foul on Saliba. If I'm honest, I thought Saliba had his arms around him, and it's unfortunate not to get punished there.
Sergio Conceição agreed with you, and he has now been booked. So both of the coaches have been cautioned for this.
I thought Arteta was emotional. I've been watching Conceição, the coach. He has been up and down, kicking every ball, heading every ball. He has really, really been out there on the touchline.
And his lad who's playing on the wing is a chip off the old block, by the way. He is proper heart and sleeve stuff as well. Fine player, Sergio Conceição, back in the day. He was part of the Lazio side that won the European Cup Winners' Cup under Sven-Göran Eriksson back in the 90s, 25 years ago. Arsenal bring it forward. Ball in behind Declan Rice. It's headed away. And Porto are winning a lot of second ball in the midfield now, trying to bring the ball forward. Evan Nielsen with a little layoff. There's another challenge off the ball. It's another free kick to Porto. It's getting increasingly fragmented. It was Jorginho that gave that foul away. And Arsenal have just got to make sure this not runs away from them, but they've got to stop Porto getting the control that they've had in the last 4 or 5 minutes. They had a poor spell in the first half of maybe 10 minutes, and they're having one now.
Yeah, they are. And to be fair from Jorginho, it's a good foul back, because Pepe got the ball in space and he was driving through the middle of the pitch, and no one was really engaging him. So Jorginho, all that experience, he knows exactly what to do. Wildco, he just took the foul for the team, took the booking, and at least now Arsenal get back into shape.
Champions League winner back in 2021. Actually beat Porto in the quarter-finals that season en route to glory against Manchester City in the final. Porto bring it forward now, and João Mario completely miscues as he tried to wrap his right foot around it to fire across inside the area, and it's just about 3 inches out, but that made all the difference. It's come off the right hand side of his boot, and he's just passed it into the hoardings behind the goal. Arsenal again restarting play as quickly as they can. 10 minutes of normal time left.
The worst part about that, Jim, is he made a really intelligent run about 70 yards forward, did that at the end, and has had to sprint 70 yards back to try and catch Trossard. But again, a really, really good pass. But the execution at the end, the final cross from Porto, to be fair, hasn't been good enough this evening.
He sprinted like you, he crossed it like it was me.
No, he crossed it like me as well.
Well, I didn't like to say. Here's Ben White. We played 80. Leandro Trossard's goal on 41, the difference between the two teams. So it's 1-1 on aggregate, and it is hanging in the balance. League Two leaders Mansfield beaten tonight at Tranmere Rovers. We'll run through all the full-time scores for you at full-time in this. We'll give you the salient ones as the full-time whistles blow. The ball headed back to Diogo Costa. Now with 9 minutes to go here, it's still all square. Grimsby beating the MK Dons by a goal to nil. That'll ease their relegation worries as well. In League One tonight, Portsmouth, the leaders, leading Burton by 2-1. Derby leading the 10 men of Reading by the same scoreline. So it's going to be as you were. The 5-point gap between the top two is going to stay. They're both very late on in stoppage time in those games. Free kick for an offside. And Arsenal had a player, Declan Rice, go down injured. Not Rice, I beg your pardon. It's Havertz go down injured in the midfield, but the whistle has gone for an offside against him, and Pepe will take it. 82 gone. And still Arsenal 1, Porto 0. Work down towards Conceição. Conceição controlling, going back to João Mario. Back towards Pepe. Pepe's right-footed ball over the top. Neither goalkeeper really in the entire game, but particularly in this second half, has had an opportunity to show their skills, to add to already impressive DVDs and show reels. It's just not been that kind of game. The chances we've seen have been half chances. It's been difficult for either side to really get a grip of it, but we are going to see Gabriel Jesus come on. First change for Arsenal in a moment. And that's going to be the next break in play, which will be now, because Diogo Costa, with the ball at his feet inside his penalty area, just trying to chip it down for the right back and shanked it. Has put it straight out of play. So Arsenal will make the change, and in Jesus for Jorginho.
Makes a lot of sense, because I think obviously Havertz will drop into midfield, Declan will go back to that holding role, but I think it allows Arsenal to get control of the ball, the possession again, because the last 10 minutes, to be fair, they've been losing possession quite easily. They've been letting Porto kind of counter-attack on them. But one thing about Gabriel Jesus, as we know, really good at taking the ball in tight areas, can make things happen. Yeah, he probably should score more goals, but he allows Arsenal to maintain possession.
He found the net in his first 4 Champions League appearances of the season. He's got a good record in this competition as Ødegaard tries to get it inside the penalty area and into a shooting position. He can't quite. Comes off Saka. Jesus! Deflected wide. Very nearly scored with his first touch.
Yeah, getting into that position as well. Unlucky. I don't think there was a lot of space for him to kind of finish it. He reacts really well because it bounces down. I don't think it's a pass to him. And it's a really good save from the keeper. He tries to keep it down. He catches the inside of his thigh, and it's a really good save.
So Arsenal's third corner of the second half. They lead 1-0. 6.5 minutes to go. In towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Didn't quite have the weight to get through for the players that were attacking it. And the referee spotted an infringement anyway. A little push before he got towards Kai Havertz. It's a free kick that'll be taken by Porto. Certainly odds on that it's going to go to extra time from here, you would think, with 6 minutes of normal time to go. But of course, the first game between the two, there was plenty of late drama. Arsenal winning at the weekend with a goal later than this. And there has been another significant Champions League goal elsewhere. It's in Barcelona. Jeff Peters.
It's Barcelona 3, Napoli 1, 4-2 on aggregate. Robert Lewandowski from close range. Brilliant team goal. Finished off by Lewandowski from close range. Barcelona surely now heading through, 7 minutes remaining.
And another big chance for Arsenal. Saka with a shot on his left foot that was saved. Ødegaard put in the follow-up wide. They're knocking at the door.
They are, and that all comes from Gabriel Jesus, bringing the ball down, holding on to it, just rolling a little past to Saka, who cuts inside into that left foot, and it's a really good shot. Poor goalkeeper, he palms it back into a really dangerous area, and Ødegaard on the follow-up just can't hit the target, because if he does, he scores.
Porto are going to make a change. Sanchez coming on for João Mario. Full-time details from St Andrews come from Talksport's Dave Rowe.
Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1. Only one real moment of quality in the game, and it won the game. Riley McGree strike from the edge of the D in the 17th minute, which arrowed into the top corner, and the home side never looked like scoring in response. For Borough, it's their third straight win. They're up to 9th place, 5 points off the playoffs. Birmingham, 1 point in 5 games, 1 clear of the bottom 3. They are bang in trouble. Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1.
Jorge Sanchez, the player that has come on here to replace João Mario, Mexican international, full back on loan from Ajax. He can play either side. He's slotted in on the right here, replacing João Mario, who had a very solid game for Porto. 1-0 to Arsenal. A goal for either side now, and the other is bang in trouble with 4 minutes of normal time to go. Arsenal in possession. Jesus doing well, picking up the ball near the edge of his own penalty area. Good movement from him. Forward into the feet of Trossard. He's worked it back. Rice has got it, and Rice will come forward towards halfway. Rice then chipping it out to the right-hand side for Saka. It's an excellent pass, well brought under control. Fans rise to their feet as one as Saka lays it back for Ødegaard. Little ball threaded through the penalty area behind Trossard, but took a deflection, and it's another corner.
They're the kind of areas you want to see Ødegaard on the edge of the box, having a little look. I mean, he already played one in the first half to Leandro Trossard with a really good finish. But when you hit that area there, I'd like to sometimes see him pull the trigger, hit a really good shot, because on that left foot, he can paint pictures with that left foot. So another good opportunity for Arsenal to get the ball in the box with some quality.
Mehdi Taremi is going to be coming on in a moment for Porto. He missed the first leg through injury. Just going through a warm-up now in front of us. He'll come on the next break in play. another Arsenal corner. They've had the monopoly on them tonight. And again, the players start in the far post area. The corner comes in. There'd been some pushing and shoving before it was taken. Havertz ended up on the deck. Referee still allowed the corner to come in. Porto cleared it, and Rice, with an impeccably timed challenge when there was no margin for error, stops the counter-attack. It's a Porto throw.
If he'd have got that wrong, they were in on goal or he'd have been in trouble. But Declan Rice, that's one of his real qualities. We've seen him play number 8 the last couple of games in Jorginho holding. But when he is holding it, he always gives you that. He's got the legs to get up and down, break attacks up, and there in that situation there, he understood he had to make that tackle.
Evan Nielsen's coming off, Mediterranean's coming on. The Iranian international who's been troubled by a thigh problem in recent weeks. Player that did score at home to Liverpool. And he's going to come on hoping for his 10th goal of the season. They've come at a rate better than one every other game for him so far. Firm favourite amongst the Porto supporters. And Taremi is on. 2 minutes of normal time to go. Long throw inside the penalty area, inside the Arsenal box, flicked on potentially dangerously. Didn't find Pepe. Arsenal hoping to counter-attack. Saka is brought down. And it's a free kick that the Gunners will take 25 yards inside their own half. Who has got that little bit of inspiration in them? Trossard doing well to field an overhit aerial ball out towards the left-hand touchline. Porto winning a couple of challenges in the midfield. Sanchez goes back to his goalkeeper with a brisk pass that is cleared before Ødegaard could put the pressure on at the end of the ground that Aaron Ramsdale had his error the other night. Pepe now with a header away, back from Havertz, cleared again through the midfield by Varela, and Taremi is dealt with by Gabriel. Taremi stays down injured, and the free kick has gone Porto's way. By the time it's taken, will very nearly be in stoppage time.
That was never a foul. Gabriel defended really well there. He's allowed him to take that first touch, and just as Deeney's about to play it, he just steps in, gets his toe to it, Gabriel, clears it, and they get a foul. And for me, that's not a foul, but Arsenal have to be careful here, because he can score goals.
In League One, the top two have both won by 2-1 tonight. Portsmouth and Derby getting the job done. In League Two, leaders Mansfield beaten at Tranmere. And the Championship, Birmingham in relegation trouble, which is intensifying all the time. They've lost the game in hand tonight at home to Middlesbrough. Full time in this game. We'll give you all of the scores. 1-0. 20 seconds of normal time to go. I wouldn't want to predict how many extra minutes will be added on after it was just 1 in the first half, where we thought it was going to be 3 or 4. Fourth official, Rudy Bouquet, has got the numbers board in his hand. Now we'll find out in a moment how many minutes either side have got to win it before it goes to extra time. It's 3. And we're in them now. Kai Havertz finding Bukayo Saka. 1-0 to Arsenal. 1-1 on aggregate. Ødegaard trying to turn. Drags the ball away from the penalty area. And then back out towards the right-hand touchline. Great ball for Saka. Saka gets to the byline. Varela steers it away. And Arsenal have yet another corner.
Yeah, again, working it really well. Ødegaard getting on that half turn, trying to make things happen, trying to see that pass, and Saka just, I think the pass was a bit overhit, and that's why he was on the stretch. But again, another opportunity from a corner from Arsenal.
Here the crowd just exhorting this one last bit of effort from the Gunners. A goal now, they're surely through. Left-footed in, swinging delivery. Really good defensive header away. Saka picks it up on the edge of the penalty area. He then gets a return ball. Left-footed, he's gone too deep. It's out of play for a goal kick.
I see what he was trying to do, Saka, and Gabriel was totally free in the back post, and he just gets too much on it. But I understand. Long game, fatigue started to kick in as well. But also, got to keep believing, keep trying to create opportunities, because I think if they do in and around the box, Porto are starting to tire. Ødegaard seems like he's fresh. He's still getting on the ball, still trying to make things happen. And with Gabriel Jesus, get the ball into his feet, let him try and manipulate the ball and create something for himself.
Clearance from our left-hand side from the Porto goalkeeper, Diogo Costa. Goes out towards the far touchline, where Arsenal have won it back. Trossard will chase. Sanchez gets it away. Arsenal win it back in the midfield. Havertz with a great first touch and a poor second. Just ran away from him. Porto clear. Whack it long, Ben White heads it away, and it goes out for a throw that'll be taken on the Porto left-hand side. In a hurry to get on with things now, Galeno, and he's lost possession. Saka, Ødegaard, Jesus making a run through the middle. It's just played in behind him, he could stop his run and turn. Lay it back for Ødegaard. Arsenal bring it forward again with Kivior. And we're in the final minute of added time at the end of the 90. Can Arsenal create one last worthwhile opportunity? Crowd urging them on. What a cathartic moment it would be if they could score a winning goal now and make it through to that elusive Champions League quarter-final that they found so hard to come by over nearly a decade and a half. They're still patient. 30 seconds to go. Over on the right-hand touchline with Saka. Saka controlling it. No foul on him, but he hasn't lost possession. Good turn by Ødegaard, edge of the area. He's got it back. Good swivel again and a pirouette. He's gone down. No foul. Porto are going to be able to bring it away. And their counter-attack could be on potentially. But Kivior has gone up through the gears so quickly. He's got there ahead of Conce Sao. Ball's played back for Raya. And play stops because there's a Porto player down with cramp on the edge of his own penalty area.
That's there, Ødegaard again, maybe trying to be too precise. I mean, he went for the double drag back. Really good play, again, from Gabriel Jesus. I think it's on his right foot. Just swing it. We know it's not your strong foot, but just swing it. You never know what could happen. But again, Kivior this second half, defensively, has been outstanding. Conceição has tried everything. He's tried to run him. Little fouls here and there. He's got his body in. He's used his pace. He has been very, very impressive this second half.
And it's only the third Champions League start of his career, to put it in perspective. It's a massive game for him. Massive game for them all, but Jakob Kivior in particular. When play restarts, I reckon there's only about 10 seconds left. The Porto player still down on the edge of his own penalty area, receiving treatment.
It looks like he's got cramp.
Yep. I can understand that. Just having everything stretched out. He's going to have to come off the field having received that treatment. But play's going to restart with a drop ball to Arsenal deep in their own half. And as I say, I think there's only about 10 seconds, 10-15 seconds left. Varela is just being helped back to his feet now. He'll be a miss. He's done a very good job in quite a quiet way. Signs actually are that he's going to need a stretcher to leave the field here.
Doesn't surprise me. Defensively, he's been very, very good. I mean, he's had to work really hard because Arsenal have had a lot of possession in this game, and he's probably had to play not his natural game because he's had to worry about Ødegaard. Where's he going to be? Saka coming off the line, Havertz dropping into pockets. He's probably had to do so much defensive work. No wonder he's going off with cramp. And I guess for Porto, it's a blow, but for Arsenal, you go, well, it's another opportunity.
So the stretcher is on, and Varela's going to be helped onto it in a moment. This is the Arsenal bench, so these are all players that can be called upon. They've only made one change so far, that's Jesus, who came on, so they can still call upon Partey, Smith Rowe, Nketiah and Cedric, Tomiyasu, Fabio Vieira, Nelson Elneny, Zinchenko, and the two goalkeepers, Ramsdale and Hine. So there is experience, there is quality to be called upon off the bench. He's now been down receiving treatment for 3 minutes, Varela, and is being carried away here. 3 stretcher bearers either side of the stretcher coming off. The long red extendable tunnel is just being drawn out towards the edge of the technical areas. So Porto will make this latest change, and it's a relatively familiar face. Marko Grujic, the one-time Liverpool player who's going to be coming on. He only made 16 appearances for Liverpool over 5 years at Anfield, but he's played well over 120 games for Porto. And he's going to be coming on in a moment. Not quite as defensive a midfielder as the man that he's going to be coming on to replace here. And when play restarts, the ball's going to be dropped at the feet of David Raya. and it's almost as if the ball will be dropped at his feet and the referee will blow the full-time whistle immediately. The change will now be made. Grujic on for Varela. So how many extra seconds are going to be played? We're in the 8th minute of 3 added. And Raya brings it towards the edge of the D. Referee runs back into position. Raya is going to go long and direct here, and there's barely time to do it. Fires it forward. Havertz running in off the touchline, heads it into space. Second ball won by Porto, headed on by Grujic through the midfield. Loose ball breaking on the right-hand side for Conceição. It's worked down the line here for Taremi. No flag against him, and he's on the right-hand side of the area. Conceição back for Taremi. Conceição gets it again, volleys it inside the penalty area, and the offside flag now comes up, and that's going to be that. We're going to be gone to extra time as the ball was played inside the penalty area, and it's going to be an indirect free kick to restart play with what might well be the last kick of the 90.
I do rate that, Jim, because we can quite clearly see from where we're sitting, it's probably about 2 yards offside Taremi, but they allow it to keep going, you never know what could happen after that. But again, Arsenal's defensive line, all in unit, all in tandem as well, good defensive, kept them offside.
Barcelona are through. They've made it into Friday's draw with a 3-1 win tonight, 4-2 aggregate victory, but we're still no closer to knowing who it's going to be from this tie. Arsenal have beaten Porto in 90 minutes with Leandro Trossard's first half goal, but we've got another 30 minutes of extra time on the way. 1-0 to Arsenal on the night, 1-1 on aggregate with extra time to come.
Well, it's been tense. I think it's been exciting. It's been action-packed. There's been a lot of housery, and there's been a lot of good footballers. Well, I'm delighted in many ways there's another 30 minutes, Darren Bent, but how tense is it in this stadium?
Yeah, it's really tense. I mean, you can see the fans, listen, they've been with the Arsenal team the whole game, but you can just sense a little bit of nerves starting to kick in, and I get it, Arsenal have not been in this position for a long time, certainly for a while into the last 16, but they've got to keep believing. I thought Arsenal were the better side that second half, between the boxes, played some really good stuff. But that last little bit of the edge, the last final third, I mean, Odegaard picked up some really nice positions, and I'm thinking just pull the trigger, and he tries maybe one pass too many. We saw him thread one first after Trossard, which is fantastic. There are times I'm screaming to myself, just shoot.
Yeah.
You never know, just shoot. His left foot's absolutely wonderful. So, but Arsenal, they've got to go again. I think Gabriel Jesus is definitely a change I would have made, and I'm sure he'll make a difference.
Well, it is 1-0 to Arsenal on the night, 1-1 on aggregate. We've got another 30 minutes for you live on Talksport. It means the sports bar is going to be delayed. I'm sure they're enjoying the commentary as well. If you want to get involved, 03717223344. But let's hear how Barcelona made it through tonight, Jeff Peters.
Yeah, Barcelona into their first Champions League quarter-final since 2020. 3-1 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate against a spirited Napoli side. Fermin Lopez gave them an early lead, converting from Rafinha's cutback. Soon after, Joao Cancelo thumped home a rebound after Rafinha's effort hit the post. Amir Rahmani halved the deficit, and they would have been level at the break had Ter Stegen not denied Di Lorenzo with an incredible save. Pulsating second half, Napoli went close. Lindstrom wasted a free header. Oliveira hit the woodwork, but Robert Lewandowski sealed the deal with a late tap-in, finishing off a slick move. 3-1 on the night to Barcelona. They go through, 4-2 on aggregate.
Let me give you all the full times then. Championship, it finished Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1. Birmingham stay fourth bottom in the table. They've used up that game in hand though. League 1 tonight, Carlisle 2, Barnsley 3. Barnsley back up to fourth. Derby 2, Reading 1. That was live on Talksport 2. Fleetwood 0, Bristol Rovers 0. Orient 0, Port Vale 0. Lincoln 6, Cambridge 0. That's 11 goals in 2 games for Lincoln. They're 11 unbeaten. They've won 6 of their last 8 games. Incredible run from Michael Scabala's side. Northampton 0, Blackpool 1. Portsmouth 2, Burton 1. Shrewsbury 0, Exeter 3. It's Wickham 1, Wigan 0. Bolton 5, Oxford United 0. In League 2, Wimbledon 2, Gillingham 0. Bradford 0, Forest Green 2. That's a great result for Forest Green. Christian Deutsch scored in the first minute, and the 93rd minute they are out of the bottom 2. Colchester go in, but their game at home to Doncaster tonight was postponed. Crawley 2, Notts County 1. Crewe 1, Bottom Club Sutton 0. Grimsby 1, MK 0. Newport 5, Morecambe 3. Swindon 1, Accrington 2. Tranmere 2, the leaders Mansfield 1. They stay top though. Walsall 1, Barrow 1. Wrexham 0, Harrogate 0. National League, Aldershot 4, Ebbsfleet 1. Altrincham 6, York 1. Chesterfield 2, Oxford City 0, Gateshead 1, Dagenham 0, Kidderminster 1, Fylde 1, Rochdale 2, Woking 1, Solihull Moors 2, Borehamwood 0, Southend 2, Dorking 0. The rest of the games were postponed, and one game in the Scottish Championship tonight finished Partick 0, Wraith Rovers 1. Wraith moved 3 points closer to the leaders, Dundee United. They stay second in the table. We're getting ready for extra time live on Talksport in the Champions League. 1-0 on the night to Arsenal, 1-1 on aggregate, another 30 minutes. If you love football, stick with Talksport. Here's Darren Bent and Jim Proudfoot.
Well, Arsenal have only made one change so far. Porto have made 3. They also have made them at different stages of the game. So they've only got one more time within the game that they can make changes. They've got 3 more players they can bring on. Arsenal lining up with Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Kivior, Odegaard, Rice and Havertz, Saka, Jesus and Trossard. Porto, Diogo Costa in goal, Sanchez, Pepe, Otavio and Wendell, Gonzalez and Grujic, Conceição, Pepe, Aquino, Galeno and Taremi up front. Clement Turpin, the referee, just waiting for the signal from the TV officials to get this back underway, although they're in hot debate. The television staff, the 4th official and a couple of members of the Porto coaching staff down the way to our left-hand side. Clement Turpin, I think, has been given the signal to get on with things, but still the 4th official is trying to quieten down a delegation from Porto. We are back underway, and still they're chatting about something that's gone on. So back underway, Havertz helping it on, and Taremi is going to be able to clear. The ball bounces inside the centre circle, and Arsenal kicking from left to right, have the ball at the back with Saliba. Saliba towards halfway, now down towards Ben White. White playing it back again, and Arsenal with Saliba in possession, turned all the way back for David Raya, who controlled it on the edge of the D. Half an hour. They've waited 7 years for a knockout tie in Champions League football, and it all is distilled down to what happens over the next 30 minutes, Darren.
Got to keep your composure. That's what they have to do. They can't change the way they've been playing. What's got them to this point is by playing that way, and as they're getting the ball to Saka, Gabriel Jesus.
Saka finding Jesus inside the penalty area now, who goes the long way round. He's done well to keep it alive. Flick it back inside the 6-yard box. It's cleared and put out of play for a throw that Ben White takes. Takes it quickly and gets an immediate return ball. Now down towards Odegaard. Odegaard laying it back, chipped over the top. White controlling it with his head and then his right foot, and then it just rolled away from him and goes out for a throw. Going to be taken on the Porto left.
Do you know what, Jim? If Gabriel Jesus goes down there, the referee's got a decision to make, because he does really well to manipulate the ball, get his body in. He turns the defender, and the defender's almost like a wild slash at him now. If he goes down, I'm not saying he gets a penalty, but the referee does have a decision to make.
Rice heads the ball on. It's cleared by Grujic. Tall Porto substitute that came on right at the end of the 90. Saka's done well. It just almost got in between Wendell and Galeno for a moment. Otavio comes across, Jesus making life difficult. Players from both sides end up on the deck. Ball goes over the line. Both sides think it's theirs. It is a Porto goal kick.
Yeah, again, good battling from Saka and Gabriel Jesus. He looks fresh, of course. He was the last substitute for Arsenal, but again, I think he could be the key. Get the ball into him, in and around the box. He can make the ball, make things happen, draw fouls, just hold on to possession, allow Arsenal to get up the pitch, and then they can start playing again in Porto's final third. But I think certainly moving forward into this extra time, he's going to be key.
Well, if you've just switched on to Talksport expecting the sports bar, you can book your calls now, but we won't be hearing from the guys until the conclusion of this game. Your chance to react to Arsenal's Champions League tie. Is it going to be a win? Is it going to be an elimination? We'll find out together over the next 25 minutes or so. 03717223344, the number that gets you through to the sports bar here on Talksport. Is it going to be a vintage night for Arsenal? Is it going to be another one of those European nights for the Gunners? White heading it on. Rice trying to help it further clear. Saka on the stretch. Cleared by Wendell. And out of play for a throw. And again, Mikel Arteta doing his best Simon Rattle impression. Trying to whip up the crowd. wants even more volume. Fortissimo. Ben White taking the throw. He's getting his wish, by the way. Scarves being waved around the heads all around us. Otavio's had another good game. Saka thinks that he's won a free kick, and he has now. Pepe picked the ball up. Has a free kick been given for the handball by Pepe, or has it been given for a foul by Otavio on Saka? We're looking at where the free kick is going to be taken. It's the latter. Otavio can't believe that decision. Feels really hard done by. Free kick to Arsenal. Chance to whip it in.
Exactly, and to be fair, Porto have dealt with the set plays really, really well. But that there, Otavio, we spoke about it, Jim, he's really impressed us defensively, but just there lost a little bit of composure. Saka was about to take the ball and he swipes his leg away, so 100% the right decision by the referee. Well spotted, to be fair, because I didn't think he saw it.
It's only 21, Otavio. He only made his European debut in the first leg. Got a great future ahead of him. Martin Ødegaard stands over this free kick. Not a lot of disguise coming here. Does have the option of going short to Declan Rice to his left, who's unmarked actually. Only 22, 23 yards from goal. Ødegaard will take it. Rice now comes back out towards the touchline again. So in a position that he might address the ball, and in fact he runs up to it, then leaves it, and Ødegaard swings it in. Havertz going up for it. Saka trying to get in there. Cleared though by Otavio, and there's a big fist bump from him as he gets it away. Very emotional, running on empty, but as Bendy's been saying, he's had a fine night. Here's Rice. 5 minutes of the first period of extra time have gone here on Talksport. Jim Proudfoot and Darren Bent talking through the action in North London tonight, where 1-0 to Arsenal means they've got it to extra time. But can they complete the job? Been leading on the night for 54 minutes now. Trossard to Ødegaard. Back to Rice. Rice bringing it forward, laying off to his left-hand side for Kivior. Trossard making a run down the left-hand touchline, but they've worked it back through the middle instead. The centre-halves exchanging passes. Saliba then chipping it down towards White. White wins a throw. Wendell claiming it was his. Nobody was convinced. White drops the throw at the feet of Ødegaard. Ødegaard back for Gabriel. Gabriel down to the Frenchman Saliba. And Saliba will venture forward. White making a good run on the overlap. Has to head it to keep it in play, but in doing so he's found Saka, knocked away by Wendell, who looks as though he's struggling a little bit. You can only tell that he's played 96 minutes. Ball's gone out of play for another throw that'll be taken by Ben White for Arsenal. He's nicked a couple of yards and might try and nick another couple. Going to take this throw level with the edge of the Porto penalty area. At least that's where he should be taking it. Thrown in towards Ødegaard, and he's won a corner. First of extra time, 1-0.
It's amazing how many times Arsenal get to the byline from a throw-on. You'd think people would have noticed it by now, but every single time Ben White gets the ball, Ødegaard makes a run along the byline, they throw it over the top of the defence, and he's in on goal. I mean, that was good defending, but at some point they're going to punish you. So you're going to Porto, if they were to continue in this tournament, that's something they're going to have to look at.
Arsenal scored more goals in the Premier League this season from crosses and headers than any other side. What they give for one now in the Champions League. Saka to take this, left-footed, in-swinging delivery, another good defensive header, turned away on the edge of the penalty area. Conceição's made a run forward. He's then Pepe Aquino fouled off the ball, and the referee waves him up to his feet. Arsenal have it, and it's played back out towards the Gunners' left, and they will break quickly now with Jesus travelling in possession. Pepe comes across, defends it really well, and shepherds it over the line and out of play for a goal kick.
Experience, Pepe experience. He knew full well Gabriel Jesus running it in full pelt would have the legs on him. What does he do? Just uses his body, steps across Gabriel Jesus, and there's nowhere to go. Really good defending. That's why he's 41 years old. Of course, he must be tired, but you don't lose it up there, and really, really smart defending.
Yeah, he has played well. He is on a yellow card, though, as is William Saliba. The only two players that have been booked tonight. Porto are going to make their remaining changes in a moment. And we're going to see Eustáquio come on. And we're also going to see Gonçalo Borges, who's come off the bench 20 times this season. They play 15 minutes of Champions League action. He's going to get a little bit longer than that tonight. Eustachio, who we saw in the first leg, a defensive-minded midfielder, Canadian international, and he'll be coming on as well. Diogo Costa, the Porto goalkeeper, clears his lines towards halfway. Saliba heading it down. Ball helped for Grujic with a poor challenge after the ball had gone, just made sure that he caught his man as it was laid away upfield. And it's going to be a free kick, and another sore one for Kai Havertz, who's been in the thick of it pretty much from the first whistle. He was involved in some of the shenanigans in the first half, and it's still ongoing now.
Yeah, I mean, he's left a little bit on the Porto players, and they've left a bit on him, and it's a really clever play there, because he had no chance of bringing the ball down and controlling it in that area. But what do you do in these European nights? You buy fouls, and that's exactly what he did there.
Free kick taken by Arsenal. Porto get their heads to it, and then a slightly misjudged bounce by Wendell. The ball's cannoned off his ribcage under pressure from Saka, and it's gone out of play for a throw that Ben White's going to take. We're in the 100th minute. Still 1-0 to Arsenal. White helping it on. Sports Bar follows us. Saka trying to get to the byline. Wendell slides in, and that's really good play. Stop it going out of play for a corner. Arsenal then have won it back, but couldn't make anything of it. Nico Gonzalez did really well there, because Wendell had got a toe to it, got it away from Saka. Nico Gonzalez read the situation, sprinted after it, kept it in, and ultimately Porto get a goal kick where it might easily have been an Arsenal corner.
Do you know what? Fair play to Nico Gonzalez, because I'd say from minute 30 he's been almost hobbling about. It looks like he's going to go down with cramp, and every time there's a substitution I'm expecting him to go off. He keeps going there, gets himself into a really good defensive shape there, and he again for Porto has really impressed me. Stuck to the game plan. There's another great pass there, to be fair, but he is really impressed with Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah, and a poor piece of control from Kivior's made it a better pass. Ball played out to the left hand side. Taremi has got it now. Taremi, left-hand side of the penalty area, trying to work it onto his right foot. Oh, he sent it curling past the top right-hand corner and out of play for a goal kick.
Just poor execution. He's done exactly what he wanted to do, faced him up, shifted it onto his right foot. He knew Gabriel can touch him because he's been booked, and he's in the penalty area. Again, just hit the target. You can see what he's trying to do. Just fade it outside that far post into the far corner. He just gets a little bit too much onto it, but a warning for Arsenal again.
Well, the good news is he's been put out of his misery, because now his number has come up and Eustachio is on to replace him. I mentioned in the first leg that it's some accolade to be named the Canadian Player of the Year. He's got a little bit of opposition in the form of Alphonso Davies and the like, and Eustachio is the current holder of that accolade, so he's come on and he's replaced Nico Gonzalez. And the other change that is going to be made is that Conceição is coming off yet, so Gonzalo Borges on to replace him, the 22-year-old winger. It's his 44th Porto appearance tonight, and 43 of them have been as a substitute. Professional bench warmer, but a player who can offer a lot in brief spurts. Galeno helping it forward here for Porto and continuing his run. Saliba had enough of a start, hits it back for Raya. Raya makes sure, just watches the ball onto his right foot, kicks right through it and gets the ball towards halfway. It's clear, but Eustachio can pick it up, and he'll play down towards Galeno on the Porto left-hand side. It's on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Left-footed ball in. It's hit Ben White, then comes back off him and goes out of play for a goal kick that David Raya will take with 3 minutes to go to the turnaround and extra time.
Really good defender from Ben White again. I mean, Galeno's not really shown too much this game. First leg, he had the big shout in the first one with a great goal, but this half he hasn't really got on the ball as much. I know he's having to do double up on Bukayo Saka, and that's probably taking away a lot of him offensively. But really well played. Every time he's faced Ben White at 1v1, it's Ben White who's had the better of him.
Raya gets the ball to the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's then chipped from the left over to the right, and Ben White's going to be able to bring it away. Possession tonight has been high 50s for Arsenal. XG, they've got half a goal advantage. They obviously lead 1-0 on the night. Now Sergio Conceição that is, and Kai Havertz getting involved here. As the ball was played forward, Havertz came to meet it, came to the edge of the technical area, Kai Havertz, to try and control it, and Conceição did his best to try and kick it whilst Havertz was going for it. Havertz trying to bring it under control, and Conceição almost tackling him. Then there was a push from Havertz on Conceição, and the referee's going across to calm Havertz down. And the assistant referee doing likewise with the Porto manager, who has been booked.
Little bit naughty there from Havertz because the ball's probably about a yard out. Obviously, Conceição's trying to get the ball back for his team, and Havertz just volleys it into the stand, and then he kind of gives him a little shove. Havertz a little bit lucky there, but again, it's obviously blood's boiling quite high. Obviously, getting down to the last stages of this extra time. Every second counts.
Wendell takes the resulting throw, and Pepe works it back for his goalkeeper Diogo Costa. Down from him to Otavio. Slides it down the left-hand touchline for Wendell. Eustáquio will be able to control it under pressure from Havertz. And then he lays it all the way back to his goalkeeper Diogo Costa. Well, be a brave man that would predict what would happen from here. To my eye, a penalty shootout's the most likely outcome, but you never know. Certainly on the strength of 104 minutes so far, you don't see both sides scoring from this point on. So it's got the feel of being next goal wins already, Darren.
It does, and as you said there, penalties look the most likely, but it does depend on what Mikel Arteta does substitution-wise, because we've seen Porto make a number of changes, and it's about what Arsenal can do there.
Well, Zinchenko is going to be the next cab off the rank in red and white. And whether they will make that change at the turnaround in extra time or before that, I don't know. We've only got 40 seconds to go before we get to 105 minutes. Might be a little bit of time to be added on. Ball has gone out of play for a goal kick, which David Raya is going to take. Are they going to try and rush this substitution through? Doesn't look like it. Zinchenko, a player that has got much more Champions League experience than nearly everybody else in the Arsenal team. This will be his 34th Champions League tie. And Eddie Nketiah is going to be coming on as well. They're going to make the change, I think, at the turnaround point in extra time. We've got 1 minute of stoppage time before we get to half-time and extra time. And it's still 1-0 to Arsenal. 1-1 the aggregate score. Elsewhere tonight, Barcelona are through. Middlesbrough have won in the Championship. Top two both won in League One. Leaders Mansfield lost in League Two. Big win for Forest Green in their relegation battle. Elsewhere, Sports Bar follows us. 03717 223344. You can put your calls now. Your reaction to this Arsenal performance. What have they got right? What have they got wrong tonight? Does it all just merely depend on the result, which might well be the result of a penalty shootout? Porto got the ball on halfway with Pepe, and it's played it back for Diogo Costa. To his left-hand side, Otavio, and a long left-footed ball forward from him. Saliba had to make sure that he didn't get caught under the flight of it as it's played forward towards Taremi, and it's headed out of play, and that is half-time in extra time. And still, we don't know. 15 minutes and potentially penalties to come, Adrian.
Indeed, the players will have a little bit of a break, but Nketiah coming on is interesting. I think a few Arsenal fans might be like throwing eyes to heaven, but I'm seeing Pepe still on the pitch at 41 and Nketiah running at him. That's got to be a match-winning scenario for Arsenal, Darren Bent.
Well, that's what it looks like. You'd expect Gabriel Jesus to move over to the left and Trossard potentially to come off. But I think they've not tested Pepe enough. We said it in commentary. One thing about Eddie Nketiah that he has got is pace to burn. Now, all Arsenal have to do now, because there's not a lot of space in the middle of the pitch, there's too many bodies in there. So what you do, you turn them in behind, make Pepe start running towards his own goal. And with Eddie Nketiah chasing him behind, that might be an avenue for Arsenal to get a little bit of joy.
There was that moment when Galeno had the ball on the left-hand side, and I thought, he's going to cut inside here, he's going to swing it in with his right foot, like he did in the first leg. You were talking about Ben White defending well, and he did. Saka looks really tired in this right-hand side. He wasn't getting back. Martin Odegaard got right across there to cover, and I was wowing about Declan Rice at the end of the first half. But Martin Odegaard, so great going forward, his first touch, his passing, his vision and everything, does his defensive duties as well, even at this late stage in the game.
He does, and he looks fresh as they come. He's chasing the goalkeeper down there, he's running 60-yard backs to help his team as well, and he's somebody that Arsenal can't afford to come off this pitch, because I think if Arsenal are going to get anything from this game, it might be his quality, a little pass, maybe a shot, just to create something, because at the minute Arsenal look like they're running out of ideas, but I think he could be a key, certainly. And with Zinchenko coming in as well, I think Kiwior has been outstanding. I think he's been Arsenal's best player this evening, but I can understand why Zinchenko's coming on. The extra man in midfield just to maintain possession a little bit more.
Well, they're getting ready for the second half of extra time. Porto fans away in that right-hand corner, still in. Fine voice making loads of noise. I think it's difficult to get away from the Emirates. One or two Arsenal fans might have left already, but there's so many still here, and they're going to be making a hell of a noise in this second period of extra time to see if their side can get a winner, or will we go to penalties? It'll be Porto to kick us off live on Talksport. Second half of extra time. Arsenal 1 up, and it's 1-1 on aggregate. Here's Darren Bent and Jim Proudfoot.
And Arsenal's changes have seen the left-hand side of their team altered. Jesus has moved out to the left to replace Trossard, with Eddie Nketiah now playing through the middle. And it's a straight swap at left-back. Zinchenko for Kivior. And we're back underway. Zinchenko, the blonde-haired Ukrainian, gets an immediate touch and cushions a header expertly back to his goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya will play out from the back. Arsenal kicking from right to left as they try and win this in 120 minutes, Darren Bent.
Do you know what, Jim? The substitutions make sense to me, because as I said, Zinchenko in possession, he'll definitely go in there and make that extra body for Arsenal, who have lost maybe a little bit of control in the middle of the park. And with Eddie Nketiah, the big thing he's got is his pace. And Pepe is 41 years old. We keep saying it in commentary. He must be getting tired. And I think if you keep playing in front of him all the time, he's comfortable. Let Eddie start running in behind him and him facing his own goal. Will he still be as fresh? Will he still be able to defend as well as he has done? We'll soon see.
Extra time was cagey. In that first 15 minutes of it, we had one off-target shot. It came from Porto. Arsenal didn't have an attempt. You expected the next 15 minutes to go along similar lines?
Yeah, I would. I'd expect Arsenal to start testing Porto, because Gabriel Jesus from the left is maybe his best position. But again, Eddie Nketiah, if I was him, every single time a midfield player got the ball, I'm not coming to feet. I'm just going, showing to feet, and then spinning in behind, because you'll get a lot more joy.
Zinchenko plays it back to David Raya, and it was high and fast, bounced on the edge of the area. Raya took two really hasty steps back and controlled it just underneath his Adam's apple, but no harm done, and Arsenal have got it forward upfield. If it's possible in these circumstances, it's really a night for calm heads under pressure. 13 minutes from penalties. 1-0 to Arsenal. Sports Bar follows us here on Talksport. Zinchenko's got it and works the ball down the left-hand side for Gabriel Jesus. He's got 24 goals in 43 career Champions League ties. It's a really good record. Porto will bring it away quickly. Pepe Aquino, great play from him. Down towards Borges on the right for Porto, who's unmarked. He's had to scamper down towards the corner flag to keep it in. It's a shocking delivery. Straight as Zinchenko. Jesus able to mop up, plays it back for Zinchenko, then gives the corner away under pressure. That's a cheap concession. And in the 108th minute, it's Porto's first corner of the night.
Overcomplicating it, Jim. As you said there, they get into an area there where they've defended it really well. Gabriel Jesus leaves the ball for Zinchenko on his left foot. Don't try and overcomplicate it, just get it up the pitch. Everyone squeezes up, and then you start playing again in Porto's half. But the fact that they're now giving Porto an opportunity for the corner, it's dangerous.
Arsenal have had 9 corners. This is Porto's first. And it's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery here from Wendell. Very, very deep. Great play by Wright. Had plenty of time to watch it, but he also had plenty of time to see blue and white shirts coming into his eye line. He did well to catch it, launched it upfield as quickly as he can. Havertz can't hold it up, and it's won back at the back by the Porto back line, and they'll find their keeper, Diogo Costa. Now we've got 11 minutes to go, and Saliba's been beaten, and Anseremi can bring it forward. And the two Arsenal centre-halves both converge on him on the left-hand side of the box. And then just as it looks as though Galeno was going to be able to pull it back, he slipped, and the ball goes straight out of play for a goal kick. 109 gone. Arsenal 1, Porto 0 here on Talksport. As Rice gets it forward. Play down towards Gabriel Jesus. Conceição. Still kicking every ball, the Porto coach. Still very animated. Orchestrating proceedings from the edge of his technical area and often from way beyond it. Ball played forward by Ben White. Over on the far side, the gunner's right. Back from him to Saliba. To Declan Rice. Rice controlling the ball in the centre of midfield. Right-footed, he's chipped it out towards the far touchline. Saka lets it run past him, trying to get himself into a position where he can have a run at Wendell. Plays it back for Ødegaard on the edge of the area. A little give and go inside the box, and Nketiah's involved and made the run. It's cleared away and goes out for another Arsenal throw.
Really well worked. Saka, a little 1-2 there with Martin Ødegaard, and I've said it, I think if Arsenal are going to get anything from this game, certainly in the second half of the extra time, Ødegaard's going to be key. Then little pockets that he picks up a space where he can create opportunities, he might be the key to Arsenal getting a goal in the second half.
And now Arteta throws these arms up to the heavens because Arsenal, from a throw, just gave it away. Porto trying to launch it quickly down the left-hand side, return the favour, and Arsenal have another throw that they'll be hoping to take more effectively, and do so. We're in the final 10 minutes of extra time. Leandro Trossard with an expert and taken goal near the end of the first half. Now we've seen very little in the way of shots on target from either side since that. In fact, over the game as a whole, we've only seen 6. Arsenal had 4 of them. That's 6 between the two sides in 110 minutes. But for what it's lacked in real clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, more than made up for in drama and high tension. Zinchenko, the centre of midfield, plays it into the feet of Rice and gets it back again. Now it goes out towards Ben White and back for Zinchenko. So much space on the Arsenal left for Gabby Jesus. Rice has seen him, pings it in his direction. Jesus has to take a couple of brisk steps back. He's controlled it and then getting a little 1-2 going with Havertz. Very nearly got him past the fullback. Throw taken quickly by Arsenal as it cannoned off the Porto player. They've got it back to Zinchenko in centre of midfield. From him to Gabriel. Gabriel turning it. Left foot to Zinchenko. Zinchenko making his way towards the edge of the box, trying a little give and go with Declan Rice. And then the whistle signifies that Porto have a free kick, which has been won about 15 yards outside their own penalty area, and the head of steam that Arsenal build up very quickly dissipates.
Playing into Porto's hands a little bit there. There's too many bodies in there. There's no space. If they keep going to feet coming back, just every now and then maybe turn the back line, because I'm watching Eddie Nketiah. He's probably made about 5 or 6 runs and the ball hasn't come. The moment you start turning them, then the space starts to open, because then that's when Ødegaard can pick up the ball. But the moment they keep going to feet, Porto just keeps shuffling from side to side and it's easy for them.
Jesus gets it forward. Here is Nketiah trying to get a run at Sanchez. Jesus thought he'd won a throw. It's then come off Havertz, and it's a Porto throw. Arteta's got to be really careful. He picked the ball up there because he was adamant that was an Arsenal throw. He's got a much better view than me. I thought it was a Porto throw. The officials agreed. There's a throw that'll be taken by the Mexican right back Sanchez, who was given a something or nothing ball back that he did well to field. And he's played it to the edge of his own penalty area, and Otavio will clear it. And we're midway through the second period of extra time. It's still 1-0. Ball has bypassed Ben White, goes out towards the far side where Galeno trying to stop Arsenal taking a quick throw after he'd miscontrolled it, and he threw the ball away, but that's not a yellow card. Free kick has been taken. It can't have been a throw. The free kick taken quickly by Arsenal inside their own half. 7 to go. Zinchenko's got space on the Arsenal left, and he'll make his way forward. That's a good ball from Zinchenko, and Nketiah lost his footing as he tried to control it and spin, trying to take the ball on the half turn and get himself into a shooting position. Porto then work it forward, and Gonzalo Borges is brought down, and a free kick goes their way.
The ref lost it a little bit this game, and we've just seen Galeno throw the ball away and not get booked. And I thought Gabriel Jesus made a really good tackle. They worked really hard. I mean, he's clearly won the ball, all ball, and the fact that the Porto player's gone down screaming and rolling around, never a foul.
I think that's the gist of the conversation that Gabriel Jesus is having right now with Clement Turpin. And it's understandable. I mean, obviously, we're in a day and age where you always kind of give license to players to make mistakes, and no license is ever given to an official to make a mistake. Big game for him as well. We're 114 minutes into it. He'll be tiring, but I think he's probably got a couple wrong in the last minute or so. Here's Pepe playing it forward. Taremi tries to turn away, get himself into a shooting position, gets to the edge of the D. Played forward by Saliba to half dig it clear. Goes back out to the Porto left-hand side for Wendell. Galeno having his pocket picked in the midfield, wins it back immediately. Right-footed effort, taking a deflection actually, one that spun it into the hands of Raya. It hit Taremi, and Raya can get it away. Zinchenko, Havertz caught from behind. That's a free kick given away by Grujic, who then does everything he can to stop Havertz taking the free kick quickly. The referee almost physically drags him back from that situation. Arsenal take it, play it forward towards Rice, and there are 5 minutes to go, and the tension and nerves are palpable.
That Zinchenko pass is what we call a hospital ball. There was nothing for Kai Havertz to do when he got that ball. I mean, he had 2 players behind him, 1 in front of him. I wasn't quite sure what he was supposed to do with it, but he's managed to draw the foul. And he's done that well tonight, Kai Havertz, because he's probably tired, and there's times where he's got nothing on, no pass on really, and he's managed to draw fouls and get Arsenal up the pitch.
Yeah, all he could do was brace himself, because he knew he was going to get banged. The ball from the edge of the penalty area. Havertz, better touch there. Might have enabled him to get a shot in. Saka will be able to pick it up. Now Declan Rice takes over. Arsenal recycle it and then give it away. Zinchenko struggled actually to get to the pace of the game since coming on. And then Pepe Aquino will make his way forward, and Havertz has upended him. This yellow card's been in the post for about an hour, but he's got it now.
It has been, to be fair, and again a good tactical foul, but I mean you can see Kai Havertz now, he looks knackered, because that touch at the other end of the pitch as well, where he got himself into a really good area, just created a little bit of space, pulled off the defenders, but his first touch let him down, because if he controls it, he's got a clear shot on goal from about 9 yards, but again fatigue's kicking in.
4 minutes of extra time to go, and Arsenal lead it 1-0. 1-1 the aggregate score here on Talksport, and a reminder that the sports bar with your reaction to Arsenal's progression or elimination from Europe, we don't know which it'll be yet, will follow. 03717 223344. That's a push on Gabriel. Clear foul by Taremi, and a free kick that Arsenal take in their left back position, and Taremi should get a yellow card there. Gabriel has deliberately played it into him in a way to try and get Taremi booked, and the referee's been quite consistent with that kind of incident all night, and he's just said, no, you did it deliberately, Taremi, come on, get back. It is a free kick going to be taken by Arsenal's David Raya, who's nicked 7-8 yards, and the Porto fans are telling the referee that is the case. We're in the 118th minute. David Raya, in all green with his big white gloves, thrashes it forward, and it's headed by Stacchio and then returned by Gabriel, and over the line and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Porto right hand side on halfway.
Do you know what, Jim? Do you know what Grujic has done really well since he's come on? He's almost shielded the back line, so every time there's been a long goal kick or a long ball, he's the one challenging, and that's allowed Obativo and Pepe to drop about 5-6 yards to then pick up the second balls. It's really, really well done from Porto.
Sanchez hurls it forward, little back header from Zinchenko, and Pepe Aquino's run onto it. He's trying to buy a corner. Rice will shepherd the ball. It's done brilliantly. What a touch of composure inside his own penalty area under pressure in the 118th minute of the biggest Champions League tie he's ever played. He got it away. Zinchenko helps it forward. Better touch now, Nketiah. Havertz will take it on. Pepe's there first. Shows a little bit too much of it towards Zinchenko, but it's hit the Ukrainian, goes out of play for a Porto throw. Conceição happy for his side to play for penalties now. That is very evident. And he just controlled the ball himself, Conceição, and then has it in the palm of his right hand, doesn't throw it towards the player who's going to take the throw. And the fourth official intervenes and takes it off Conceição to give it to Sanchez so that throw can be taken. Then when it is, Arsenal win a free kick, but they're midway inside their own half. Havertz fouled again.
I'm starting to question whether Pepe's 41. The way he's running around, sprinting and putting his body on the line and making tackles and leading this Porto team, again, he's been outstanding.
Well, some of us feel a 51 going on 71. He's 41 going on 21. He's done an outstanding job tonight. Arsenal will bring the ball forward through the midfield with Gabriel. Now Declan Rice. In the final minute, Rice over the top. Out comes the goalkeeper, Diogo Costa. And he'll be able to control the ball, bring it into his midriff, and then bounce it once, roll it out, underarm out to the left-hand side. Was played for by Wendell and helped on by Taremi. Galeno, who scored a very, very late goal in that first leg. Just couldn't get possession cleanly. Saka bringing it away. Had arms around his midriff. He's been brought down. And it's a free kick to Arsenal now. It's only 10 yards from halfway. But this is a chance right at the end of the game to load the penalty area. If Arsenal get this right, they're through. 1-0 they lead. 1-1 the aggregate score. Arsenal just looking for anything, for inspiration, for a little bit of luck. It does not matter one jot. Free kick taken back towards halfway, and that'll be that. A few murmurs of frustration from the Arsenal supporters. No added time at the end of the second period of extra time. And they've waited 14 years to get themselves through to a Champions League quarter-final. If it's going to come tonight, it's going to come in the most dramatic circumstances via a penalty shootout. They've won 1-0 after extra time. It's 1-1 on aggregate.
Well, Darren, Ben, I thought it was extraordinary. They got a free kick and there's a good 30 seconds of the 120 left. And they took so long. You've got 30 seconds left. Swing it into the box, see what happens. And they've wasted an opportunity there. Frustrating from Arsenal. Overall, do you think that Arsenal have done enough to try to win the game? I get that Porto are trying to spoil it. Bit of diving, bit of rolling around. There's a lot been going on. Free kicks, breaking up the game, all that sort of stuff. And they've defended really well. But have Arsenal really done enough? When you bear in mind, they haven't got another game for nearly 3 weeks.
It's a crazy one, because as you said there, Porto have made it really difficult for them, but in the final third there's been times where maybe they've tried to overcomplicate it by maybe playing one pass further than they should rather than pulling the trigger. And again, you have to give credit to Porto, because Arsenal have moved the ball quite quickly. I think they've been a bit one-dimensional at times in terms of they're still trying to play for the middle of the pitch when there's clearly no space in there. I think maybe when Eddie Nketiah came on, I thought, right, here we go. Just turn them, start trying to make the pitch bigger, and then that will create more space. But the fact they didn't do that, because Eddie Nketiah, he knows his strong point is getting in behind. It's not to his feet. And they didn't really give him that. I don't think he received a pass once in behind. So that's probably a little bit disappointing from Mikel Arteta's point of view. But now it's a lottery, it's a penalty shootout, and you've got to believe.
Do you know what? I go upstairs at the age of 41, back in the day, and I was knackered for the rest of the day. Pepe, let's talk about a couple of players. Pepe is one of them. We all thought he'd get taken off. He hasn't been taken off yet, but still running around, still defending, still annoying everybody. I think it's quite an extraordinary performance from him. You're talking about a Champions League winner there. He's done it all before elsewhere, and he still wants to get involved in a round of 16, second leg Champions League.
He's been outstanding. Again, I don't think Arsenal tested him enough. I mean, the one goal that Arsenal got came down his side where we couldn't react quicker enough. But I think other than that, Arsenal not played into his hands, but not really made him have a sprint against anyone, or made him that defender cross. It's been relatively comfortable for him. But again, at 41 years old, I mean, that is an inspiration to anyone. Any young centre-half watching this performance from him, outstanding.
You can go on that long. And Declan Rice's little touchdown here, he's in his own box. We all thought he's going to let it run to Riot or run out or whatever, and then he plays a little cute pass that nobody expects. It's a risky one, but he knows exactly what he's doing. That's genius.
Is genius, and again, he's had a very good game today as well. But this is what it comes down to. I mean, I was looking to see what kind of players, because often you see in certain squads, once penalty shootouts are starting to get closer and closer, you start to see certain players going down with cramp, like, oh, Gaffer, I think certainly. But fair play, all these Arsenal players want to be on that pitch, they all want to take a penalty. But as I said, the one thing I'd say about a penalty shootout, know exactly what you're going to do before you take the penalty, and make sure you hit the target, because there's no excuse for that.
I think I'm right in saying there hasn't been a penalty shootout in the Champions League since the 2016 final. So here we are in 2024, and it's going to be a shootout in the round of 16 for a place in the quarter-finals. When you think about it, Porto are third in the Portuguese league, Arsenal are top of the Premier League. It shouldn't have come down to this, but it has, and they've just got to stay focused and score their penalties. I say it's that simple, but listen, you've taken penalties, it's not, is it?
No, it's not, and it's one of those where, as I said, once you are taking a penalty and you put that ball down, do not change your mind. Make sure, if the keeper saves it, he saves it, but again, don't change your mind as you go to take it. But the biggest thing for me, and it always has been, is you have to hit the target. There's no excuse for that. If you're going to lose a penalty shootout, make them earn it by saving it, don't give it to them.
There's a big hug between Odegaard and Pepe, the two captains, as they sort out who's taking what and which end and who's going first. And we're getting ready for the penalty shootout here. It's been a brilliant night of football, there's no question about that. But in terms of English football, in terms of coefficient, in terms of Arsenal and their dreams, only a win for Arsenal in this penalty shootout will do, as the players line up on the halfway line and the two keepers make their way to the goal away to our left in front of the Arsenal fans. We get ready for what will be the decisive moment on what's been a dramatic evening at the Emirates. Arsenal won it 1-0, so that meant 1-1 on aggregate, and so now it's down to this. It's down to penalties. We've seen this so often before, the drama, the heartache and the joy of a penalty shootout, all coming up live on Talksport with reaction on the sports bar to follow. Get your calls booked 03717 223344. Can Arsenal do it? Here's Darren Bent and Jim Proudfoot.
Well, Arsenal will take the first one, and it's Martin Odegaard that is going to come forward to take it. You mentioned coefficients. Okay, now's not the time and place, but Spurs fans need Arsenal to win this, because coming fifth in the Premier League could be a Champions League place. It might not be. If Arsenal go out tonight, it makes it a lot harder for that to be the case, but that is just a byline for the major story. Remember, Arsenal beaten on penalties in the round of 16 in the Europa League here by a Portuguese side last year. 12 months on, they cannot afford the same result tonight. Here we go then. Arsenal won 3 of the last 4 shootouts. Odegaard to take the first penalty. It's a shuffling run up, left-footed, great penalty. The crowd are going to let you know whether they go in or not. That one has gone in to the right-hand side of the goal, with the keeper going the wrong way.
Great penalty there. He almost waited just a split second for the goalkeeper to dive to his right, and he just stroked it into the goalkeeper's left. Really good penalty, and that's what you want. If your first penalty taker goes up confident as that, you always want to get your first one.
Pepe Aquino is going to take the first one for Porto. There's a big advantage for Arsenal. The penalties are at the Arsenal end of the ground, in front of the Gunners supporters who are waving scarves around their heads. Pepe Aquino to take this left-footed. Oh, he's going to take it right-footed. He's changing his line of attack, and he hits it right-footed into the bottom left-hand corner, and it's 1-1 after a penalty.
Superb penalty again, almost the same technique, that kind of straight run up where they bend their run to the left, and he just waited for the goalkeeper to go the other way, and he whipped it. Really good penalty into the other corner. I don't think even if the goalkeeper had gone the right way, he's not saving them.
Kai Havertz once scored a winning goal in a Champions League final, and he'll make his way forward to take penalty number 2. No goal for Havertz tonight. He's been in fine goal-scoring form in the Premier League, and he's just very deliberately putting the ball down now. Just gives it a little twist on the penalty spot, a half twist. Goalkeeper stands trying to make the goal look small with his arms outstretched. Havertz runs up, checks, and hits it left-footed into the bottom right-hand corner. Another good penalty.
Composed. I mean, he must be knackered, Havertz. He played the whole game, worked really, really hard, but there, when he needs to go ice cold and show a bit of composure, something that not really a lot of people say about Kai Havertz in front of goal, he did it there, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Lovely penalty.
So his goalkeeper, Diogo Costa, or Wendell's goalkeeper, Diogo Costa, should I say, hands him the ball. Raya comes out of the edge of the 6-yard box and now makes his way back. Crowd again doing their bit with the scarves and the boos and the cacophony of noise. Wendell hits it left-footed. Save by David Raya. And he might just have helped it onto the post. But Wendell's effort is kept out by hook or by crook. It is advantage Arsenal after 2 penalties apiece. Hit it left-footed, and it's cannoned back off the post. He just got A little bit of his left palm to it to help it onto the post. It's an outstanding save. It's 2-1 to Arsenal, who have the advantage. Bukayo Saka, who has been in some epic penalty shootouts in the past. And he stands motionless now, preparing to address this. A hush falls over the stadium. Great penalty.
Great penalty, straight. He knew exactly what he was going to do. No messing around, no stuttered run up. That was a penalty where he knew exactly, before he put that ball down, where he was going to send it. Lovely penalty from Bukayo Saka. No waiting for the goalkeeper to go down either. He knew stroked to the goalkeeper's right. And I don't think the goalkeeper even dived because he knew.
So Arsenal have scored 3 out of 3. Porto have scored 1 out of 2. Marko Grujic will take this next one. Tallest man on the field. Strides back to the edge of the penalty area. Stands, addressing the ball square on. There's a stuttering and right-footed. Oh, just got it past Raya. That was close. It's gone in. Raya dived the right way, got hands to it, beaten by power. It's 3-2, and here comes Declan Rice.
I tell you what, David Rice's spring from a standing point of view is outstanding. I mean, he gets his hands just to his fingertips, can't get enough on it, but are really close again. And forget Grujic, really good penalty, but now Declan Rice stepping up. I mean, he's been again outstanding this evening.
Well, these are the moments for which he moved across town. Won a European final last season with West Ham. Can he help Arsenal to a Champions League quarter-final? Right-footed, great penalty, and Arsenal won away. A save or a successful spot kick, and they are through. Really good penalty from Rice.
No doubts whatsoever. The way he put the ball down, he stepped back and ran up. He again knew exactly what he was going to do. No arrogance there, but he almost felt like he knew he was going to score. We all knew he was going to score. Great penalty. Sending the goalkeeper the wrong way again.
So here comes Galeno, the man that gave Porto the first leg advantage with a spectacular goal right at the end of the game in Portugal. Now, from northern Portugal to North London, he has to put this penalty away to keep Porto in the Champions League. And the waving of the scarves, and now phone lights, everything being done by the Arsenal fans to try and put him off. And he runs up right-footed. Save! They've done it! Arsenal are in a Champions League quarter-final for the first time since 2010. An outpouring of emotion all around us. Players leaping on David Raya down by the corner flag. Fans leaping on each other. Sheer elation. They waited 7 years to get back into the Champions League. The previous 7 years, they hadn't made it through a single knockout tie. But tonight, they have done it. The last time that they got through to a Champions League quarter-final was when they beat Porto in the round of 16. And 14 years on, lightning has struck twice. David Raya, the hero, with 2 brilliant penalty saves. Arsenal are in the last 8 in the Champions League for the first time since the Wenger era. Arsenal 1, Porto 0, 1-1 on aggregate. Arsenal win it 4-2 on penalties.
And you're right about an outpouring. The players are going wild out on the pitch. The fans, yeah, some of them are going, but loads of them staying behind to celebrate this. And the Champions League music goes on at the Emirates. This Champions League run goes on for Arsenal. The double is still on for Arsenal. What drama there. This Diogo Costa in goal for Porto. More like Diego Costa. Didn't get near any of them. But that's because they were such good penalties. Bukayo Saka's penalty was sensational. Unsavable.
It was unsavable. I don't think he even died for that one. But again, when you put the ball down in that scenario, you know exactly what you're going to do. And Saka put the ball down, and there was no in my imagination, I knew full well he wasn't going to miss that. He knew exactly what he was going to do, and all Arsenal's penalties looked like, you know what, confidence. We've been practicing. We know what we're going to do. Whereas it's Porto tonight, I mean, they look like all of a sudden like the occasion got to them a little bit. There's been some really stand-up. Galeno, who's been arguably their best player over the last 2 legs, his penalties, I could have told you he was going to miss it. He looked like a bag of nerves walking up towards the penalty.
I'll tell you what, Arsenal kept their nerve in front of their own fans who played their part behind the goal as well. And it's joyous scenes here at the Emirates. There was a lull among the Arsenal fans during extra time when I think their belief went a little bit because they weren't exactly going for it. I think the Arsenal fans wanted them to. Went to penalties, and I think, listen, we all say it's a lottery, but it isn't really. If you focus and do your job properly, hit the target. With Kai Havertz, he had a bit of kidology with it as well, sent the keeper the wrong way, then you will get through, you'll score your penalties, and then it's up to the others to score theirs, and Porto didn't. Listen to the noise here, this is what they've been waiting for at this stadium for years. They haven't had nights like this at this stadium, and here we are. They need big nights here, and they've got one in this Champions League run.
They have, and do you know what, hey, this game against Porto, for Arsenal moving forward, will give them so much confidence, so much belief, and that experience, because not every team's going to come to the Emirates or away from home and try and shut up shop. Porto obviously knew quality-wise they're not as good as Arsenal. If they'd have gone toe-to-toe with Arsenal and opened up a little bit, Arsenal would have caused them problems. But I think this will be a stronger test for Arsenal moving forward, because not every team, you've still got the Real Madrid, Manchester City, there will be teams that will come in and walk out and play their expansive football, will open up, and that will probably play into Arsenal's hands. But again, this evening, found a different way to win. I know it went all the way to penalties, but fantastic performances from so many of them players out there from Arsenal.
Oh, they must be exhausted, absolutely. And it reminds me of the weekend, actually, because the Brentford win was finding a way to win. Here tonight was going to an extreme of finding a way to win. But they've done it. So twice in a few days, they've found a way to win. But this is so important for them. Top of the table, through the quarterfinals. Every fan and every player must be elated.
Well, you know what the narrative would have been tomorrow. If Arsenal had lost this game on penalties, it would have been, here we go. The rules are coming off. First of all, they've lost to a side like Porto, who they should have beaten. What's going to happen in the Premier League? Are they going to go and get beat by City? But all of a sudden now, that's making other people think, well, do you know what? This is a different Arsenal side. Their mentality in this squad is a little bit different. They can find ways to win, as we saw against Brentford. They can go all the way to penalties and mentally stay strong and win the penalty shootout. Again, they weren't at their best tonight, but they found their way to win, and that will stand them in good stead moving forward for sure.
And let's just salute those who step forward to take penalties. Odegaard set the tone, the captain leading from the front. He has to score his penalty, otherwise some confidence might just be shot. Havertz stepped forward. He's had critics this year. He's in a rich vein of form. He knows his job. Saka, he's missed a crucial penalty before. We all know it. Absolutely nailed it. And Declan Rice, who's missed penalties before as well. Not in exactly a designated penalty taker. He says, yeah, I'm going to take one because I'm a leader in this team. Absolutely love that about some of these Arsenal players.
Well, Declan Rice is almost the captain without the armband being on. His performances every single game for Arsenal this season have got better and better. He stepped up, took the penalty. But you're right about Martin Odegaard. It's really important that you want your not so much your best penalty taker, but the most confident. Step up first, get the team off to a good start, and that will just settle everyone else down. And Odegaard stepped up, done that little straight run up, and then bent his run to the left a little bit, stroked it past the goalkeeper, and I believe that gave everyone else confidence in that penalty shootout.
Now, a couple of years ago when we did some drive shows together, you know, I'd always throw the other angle in. They're through. That's all that matters, and it's just a statistic now. Yeah, it went penalties. They're through to the quarter-final. Let's see what the draw brings. But Porto third in the Portuguese league, 7 points off the leaders. Arsenal top of the Premier League. It should never come to penalties, should it really?
It shouldn't, and Arsenal have got real quality, but again, it's about finding another way to win, because you're right. If Porto came to the Emirates and played the way that Arsenal wanted them to play, which is expansive, spaces everywhere, Arsenal could have probably won that 3-4. But Porto, with the experience in their squad, they thought, you know what, we've got to find a way to win, we've got to keep it tight, we've got to keep it compact. They did that, and again, moving forward, whoever Arsenal get in the next round, I don't expect that side to come to the Emirates and try and shut up shop. They'll go out to try and win the game.
They've got to play better than that in the quarterfinals. I mean, that's a debate I suppose, for another day. The draws on Friday. They played a side who, this isn't a vintage Porto team, and Arsenal have had 4 shots on target in 210 minutes. So they've got to find a way to be able to beat this kind of opposition going forward. They're not going to have, as Bentley says, this kind of opposition from here on in the Champions League. There won't be this specific challenge again. But they have got to play better from here on in. That's a debate, as I say, for another day. The bottom line is they're there. They are there for the first time since 2010.
I've got a feeling O'Hara and Cundy might bring that debate forward just a little bit in a few minutes on the Sports Bar. 03717 22 3344. You're an Arsenal fan, Darren Bent. Do you want Man City in the next round?
Listen, we've got to play them. If you want to win this competition, you've got to beat the best.
Yeah, but you might want them over 90 minutes in the final rather than 2-legged.
Yeah, I'd rather get to the final. I'd rather get to Wembley and watch Arsenal play Manchester City. But again, as Jim was saying there, they're through now. You could pick the bones out of it later about the performance and not creating opportunities, which they didn't do. But on any other given day against a better opposition that wants to go and win the game, I think Arsenal will be a better performance.
Arsenal fans are loving it behind us. Do you want Barcelona though? Bit of revenge. 2006 the final. Remember when Van Persie gets sent off for booting the ball away? Well, did he boot the ball away in the Nou Camp and Barcelona storm it? There's some revenge needed there, isn't there, in the Champions League maybe?
Yeah, in the final, but again, that Barcelona team, and they're a good side now. I think Arsenal will be relishing whoever they get, because I think they'll believe over 2 legs when it comes to that kind of footballing mentality, that footballing game, and what they've had to get through with this Porto game, the Brentford game as you spoke about. I think whoever they get next round, I think they'll fancy their chances for sure.
Well, the quarter-final first leg, 9th or 10th of April, so a little way to go. So we await the draw on Friday, and as Jim was just saying, Spurs will be happy that Arsenal are through, because that means 5th place still might well be a Champions League place for next season.
Yeah, I mean, those coefficients are complicated,
and tight,
as only UEFA can do complicated. They are tight. The bottom line is that had Arsenal gone out tonight, they would have got 1 point for the draw, and that is it. And then they wouldn't have been able to get any more points elsewhere in the competition by going through. They guaranteed more points for getting to a further stage, and then you've got the opportunity of the two wins in the next legs, and so on and so forth. It is huge in terms of the coefficient tonight. I mean, games like West Ham against Freiburg have a monumental effect on the coefficient. It looks as though Italy will get one of the places. They'll have the best coefficient. Then it's going to be England or Germany. Obviously, the Italian coefficient hasn't been held by the fact that Napoli have been out tonight, but it is going to be so close. And England can't afford that. We're going to lose Brighton, you would imagine. Can't afford to lose any more teams at this stage, because if you finish second, you're going to get 5th place in the Champions League. If you finish 3rd in those coefficients, you're not. And so it's really tight. This is huge. Not for Spurs and Villa. But Manchester United will still have eyes on 5th as well. But that save from David Raya has a far-reaching effect. The stone's been thrown in the water, and the ripples don't just extend to this part of North London, they're extending all the way around the country.
Jim Proudfoot, great job on commentary. Did you enjoy it tonight, Darren? I think you did, didn't you?
I think I managed to keep my nerves in check. But no, yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved every minute of it.
Brilliant. Are you back on drive tomorrow?
I'm indeed, yeah.
Okay, you can tell Andy all about it. I'm sure he'll be delighted.
Do you know what? He will come out with something about Arsenal winning on pens. I can't wait for that.
Darren, really enjoyed your company tonight. Thank you very much. Don't forget breakfast from Cheltenham tomorrow at 6 a.m. if Alan Brazil makes it. But what a night we have had here at the Emirates. It's been absolutely extraordinary. Arsenal scored all 4 penalties. Raya saved 2. The Gunners through, and you heard it live on Talksport. The Sports Bar is next. 03717 22 3344.
The Sports Bar with Talksport.